notification, we about to go live. Hit this track and do you dance like you Karen Lacey. Run it back and turn Matthew to the house, baby. It's Tingle and Co. From 7 to 9. Come keep with the show. It's a new era. Let's get it, let's go. From 7 to 9. It's Tingle and Co.
All right, good morning and welcome in, as we're essentially on time, starting off this week here on this Monday morning. Lloyd, good morning. How are you, my friend?
Good morning, sir. Good morning, America. Good morning, Vietnam. Great. How are you, sir?
Oh, I'm doing well.
Good weekend?
Yeah, pretty good weekend.
Despite our best efforts.
Yeah, despite trying to
get away from each other.
Yeah.
Still got to hang out.
It was a great weekend. Obviously, me and Lloyd spun by the Death Valley Sports and Collectibles show from our friends AJ Sports Cards, as they put on a really cool event over at the Crown Plaza Executive Center. Was packed out.
Packed.
Like, when Nikki came up to me and she asked, like, what did I think? I was like, this is much more than I anticipated. But we did not leave empty-handed.
No.
As our guy Chuck Bro was there, and we got our hands on this bad boy right here. Shout out to Chuck. This is beautiful, beautiful artwork. Stephen Milam. Monster Milam. We got that bad boy. And then this Michaela
This is the one that caught our eye
first.
first.
This is the one that caught our eye, which is fire. Fire. And Chuck reached out after, said that he appreciated us swinging by the show and getting some of his artwork, because this is top-notch stuff. So shout out to Chuck. Shout out to AJ Sports Cards for an excellent event. Today we will have a special guest join us at 8:30 this morning. He goes by TigerTubaKent. This is going to be an awesome story that I am very excited for everyone to get to hear, because whenever I first heard it, I was like, yeah, we got to have this guy in because this is awesome. So we will have him in telling his story at 8:30 this morning, and that'll be it. We'll have some more special guests, another special guest tomorrow. We'll have Kent Broussard, a.k.a. TigerTubaKent, joining us at 8:30. No Jonathan this morning?
No Jonathan this morning.
Hung back?
Yes. And so
just me and Lloyd.
That's right. And TigerTubaKent.
And TigerTubaKent at 8:30 this morning.
Do you think that there's a world in which he lets us play the tuba?
I don't believe. Now, he's going to bring it.
Right.
He said he will bring it so that it can be, like, shown or whatever. He doesn't plan on playing it, so I doubt he wants us to play it.
Why would he not audition right now?
Well, because I don't think that he wants to do that.
This could be the audition for the audition.
Well, he already has the audition for the audition. He's into the audition.
Right, but then you can audition again. Like, have you seen the show on HBO where you practice?
Oh, the rehearsal,
The
yes.
rehearsal. This could be his rehearsal.
It could be. But from what I gathered on the phone last night, I don't think he wants to play live on air.
Well, I don't know if I want to have him on then.
But he's going to bring the weighted vest in that he wears to practice to get used to carrying the tuba. It's like a 25-pound vest that you have to put on. He said that I can wear it while he's here. So I'm going to pop that bad boy on and see if I can sit up straight. I can't even sit up straight without one.
Well, and I'll stay alive on air while you do that, however long it takes, and then we'll hang it up.
Yeah, then we'll cut the stream off. But good morning, everybody. Appreciate all of you joining us here on this Monday. Kenny Balala, good morning, Ting Pins. Hope everyone has a great, wonderful, productive, and blessed day. Go Tigers. Bo Brew, good morning, fellow fellas. Brian Burgess, good morning, everyone, and happy Monday. I pray you all had an awesome and blessed weekend and morning so far. Alex, good morning. Tuning in from Corpus Christi, Texas, originally 318. Love the show. Good morning, good morning. Fonz, great news, boys. Pop is at
Yes.
home in his recliner.
There we go.
That is awesome news, Fonz. Very, very glad to hear that. Good morning to all of you, and glad you could all join us here on this Monday edition of Tingle & Co. As we get into the headlines, LSU baseball, Jay Johnson can't stop working and dominating as they get the top high school catcher for the second season in a row. As I think it was Friday or Saturday, I think Friday evening, it was announced that Omar Cerna, the top high school catcher / first baseman, but he's a catcher, is headed to Baton Rouge, is foregoing the MLB draft, and is headed to Louisiana State University. Another huge get for Jay Johnson, as obviously all the success he had last year with the freshmen. Watch him turn on a couple of these baseballs.
This is easy power.
This is a man.
He's in high school?
Yeah.
Could have fooled me. We get Christian. That's a full-grown man.
Christian's going into his junior year
of college. This is a 17-year-old.
Yeah, but he's crushing. This was about a year ago, I think this video is. But yeah, another big get for Jay Johnson, as obviously all the success that was had with the guys that he had forego the MLB draft last year, like Derek Curiel, William Schmidt, and then the rest of that freshman class that stepped up and produced Cooper Williams, Kason Evans, looking to do the same this cycle.
Even
it's a
Aaron
good start.
Beatty.
Yeah, Aaron Beatty as well. And this is a good start to the high school recruiting offseason, getting another big get as he will forego the MLB draft and head to college. Omar Cerna, LSU's newest addition. LSU football also had a commitment over the weekend. It's crazy how the emotions have shifted on commitments in totality. Like, there's no excitement around commitments anymore. And it's only signing day. And I'm not saying anyone's right or wrong on how they feel about it, because look, we did a stream when Bryce Underwood decommitted a week before signing day.
That was different.
For about 3 hours, and it was painful. So I understand the emotions, but it's just crazy how little excitement there is around commitments, and I get it. But this is a big one as LSU lands a commitment from the number 2 athlete in Louisiana, Desrian Ellis. He's a two-way star, and he is now locked in with Brian Kelly and Corey Raymond, and the Tigers add him as a cornerback. So another good addition to the future of DBU as LSU gets the commitment from Louisiana's number 2 overall athlete. And look, you might look at the tab athlete, however you want. When you're Louisiana's number 2 overall athlete, that means you're pretty darn good. Because in Louisiana, there are a lot of those ATHs just because of how talented and athletic this state is. If you're the number 2 overall athlete in this state, you're different. So shout out to Desrian Ellis, LSU football's newest commitment. And then it also hit the news wire yesterday, a nice little Fong bomb from Steve Wiltfong over
That's
at
gonna be a
On 3.
thing.
It's also, I love it.
Yeah.
And the graphic looks great that they have along with it. Him and LSU insider, our friend, Shay Dixon, logged in
RPMs.
expert, come on now, an expert prediction for the Tigers to land 4-star edge Trenton Henderson. He is the number 11 overall edge in the 26 class, and he's the number 59 player overall. He is a 4-star. Wiltfong's confidence level is at 60%, but obviously good enough to go ahead and drop the Fong bomb.
Fong bomb.
Fong bomb.
Him and John Morant.
There you go. As the expert prediction has been logged for LSU to land the 4-star edge in the 2026 class. So some good news there on the LSU football front. And then if you missed it over the weekend, Garrett Nussmeier was putting on a show. This throw that Lloyd's about to pull up and show you, where Nuss reaches back and lobs this football through the net of a basketball hoop, which is in the back of the end zone.
This is probably a 60-yard throw.
I mean, it is a beautiful dot. I just watched it myself, and I can't get over it.
Oh,
Then
when you showed it to me at lunch, I was like, you're like, you haven't seen this video yet? And I was like, no. I saw it. I was like, oh my God. Like,
yeah,
it's pretty special.
He hits it, and in this video you can see him letting the arrow fly
That's his
after.
move.
God, this is awesome. Drop back real quick. Oh,
Cash.
God, that is money.
Yes.
And that is smooth. Smooth arrows. God,
It just makes you excited.
We've been talking about Nussmeier when he throws that ball since he was a freshman. And this is going into the 5th year, and it is still just as eye-popping. Like,
It's carnal.
dude, it's such a beautiful release. The flick of the wrist, and then to see it just swish through the net like that.
I mean, has anybody had a better offseason into a final year than Nuss, whenever you have the social media teammates?
Right.
Well, first of all, I know this was during the year, but the him playing NCAA football
Yes.
with his teammates, and then you have the "I love you, buddy, just want to say goodnight" video, and then you have this, which is like this is draft porn.
No, I mean, like, that is as good as it gets
for an offseason.
And
then you have him coaching up the kids.
Yeah, like he put on a great. And
now the play call was a little complicated. We couldn't get out the huddle, but
hey,
it was. And Gruden was like, "Jesus Christ, it'll take forever." It's like, John, they're 10.
Give them a break. They're children. These are kids. But yeah, no, I mean, he's had a heck of an offseason. That video, and I still can't get over that video of the phone calls. Like, the relationship that you saw, he obviously has with his receivers. And it's even in the thumbnail today, if you didn't see it. That picture that came out from over the weekend at the Manning Passing Academy, that I saw Joe Sloan post it first, but Sherman Wilson got it out there, of just, it's Nussmeier, Van Buren, Hurley, and then a strong contingency of the LSU wide receivers: Trades Green, Chris Hilton, Nick Anderson, Kyle Parker, Xavion Thomas, Berrien Brown, Bauer Sharp. Go through the list. That's what you love to see. You love to see the guys all together, grinding, working out over the summer. It's been a great offseason. And then this is a really nice cut from our guy Jacques Doucet over at WFB, as he put together a nice little package of Nussmeier over at the Manning Passing Academy. Shout out to our guy JD, the sports director. But it's a really nice clip of Nussmeier talking about the roster, the expectations, and then some really cool sound from the Manning Passing Academy. Watching Nuss work. Jacques Doucet just showing off why he's the best in the business once again. So, here it is.
Don't aim it, throw it to the spot. Just throw it out there.
LSU fifth-year senior quarterback Garrett Nussmeier back in Thibodaux Friday morning, passing along his knowledge of the game to young campers attending this massive event.
Great ball. It's all about to the spot, guys. To the spot, to the spot, to the spot. All right, nice firm 2-ball. We're not throwing a rainbow. We're not driving it through them. We're driving it with some touch and some feel right to the spot, all right?
Nussmeier is likewise entering a summer of his own, working hard to be the player and leader that will land the Tigers in the college football playoff.
Night and day difference, being able to go back and watch a full season of tape and to study myself and work on the things that I know I need to improve on and be able to, have substance there to identify those mistakes and find those corrections. So it's been really, really huge for me, something that, I'm very looking forward to being able to, get out on the field this fall and correct those mistakes.
We've heard LSU head coach Brian Kelly say this is the best roster he's had in Baton Rouge so far, and his starting quarterback certainly agrees with that sentiment.
Well, he's not lying. He's definitely the most talented roster that I've been a part of at LSU. It's the closest team I've been a part of at LSU, from top to the bottom of the roster. And so it's very exciting. There's a lot of expectations for us, and we accept those expectations. And not only is there an expectation for us from the outside, but there's also an expectation for us from within.
And you have to admire a guy that knows his LSU history. Nussmeier is well aware he's wearing the same number Tommy Hodson sported as the Tigers star quarterback nearly 40 years ago.
The earthquake moment, I definitely know about that and all that. Tommy Hodson was a great player, wore 13. He's on our wall in the QB room, so definitely somebody I looked up to as a 13, and it's been pretty cool, and I have a lot of respect for him, and so definitely for sure.
In Thibodeau, Jacques Dusek.
I like that throw. That's a really good throw. That's perfect. Great.
WAFB 9 Sports.
Two claps for Jacques Doucet over at WFB9, the sports director. Ready. As good as it gets. That was an awesome cut up. Got the throwback highlights of Tommy Hodson in it. The sound pops are my favorite part, where it's called a nat pop from what I learned in college doing the broadcast journalism that I'm not using.
But you're broadcast journaling right now.
I thought the same thing. Other people, the professors didn't really agree. I remember one of them was like, you should do a story about something that's not sports. I was like, why would I do that?
I don't care about that.
Pass.
That's bad teaching.
Literally. Like, let me pursue my passion, please.
Please.
But the Nat Pops are my favorite in these packages where he'll have the voiceover and then it'll cut out and you can hear the video. Mm-hmm. And those Nussmeier Nat Pops are as good as it gets. So shout out to JD over at WFB9 for an excellent cut up of Garrett Nussmeier. But look, he talked about the expectations. My favorite thing he said wasn't that this is the best roster he has that he's been a part of. He said this is the closest roster he's been a part of from top to bottom. And look, when we talked about this LSU baseball team, that was the thing we talked about the most, was that they were tight-knit, felt like a family. It just felt different. And from what you've seen, the Nussmeier video, some of the video that LSU football's put out, which has been excellent. The Freak of the Week videos are awesome. The video with Michael Van Buren guessing his teammates with the filter on them was awesome. We got introduced to Trey Green's laugh. And then all the other videos, the voice, the mic'd ups they did during, shout out to Mic'd Up 6 to 8 p.m. tonight.
That's right.
That they did over the offseason. You really got a good feel for this team, and you can tell that they are a tight-knit group. And that's what's got me the most excited. When you hear it from the mouth of the leader, Garrett Nussmeier, saying this is the closest team he's been a part of since he's been at LSU, which is from 2022 or 2021 to now, is awesome. Very, very exciting.
He's been on a lot of college football rosters.
He's been on a lot of rosters at LSU, and some good ones. I mean, that 2022 roster was talented. 2023, obviously, the second best offense in school history. Exciting. Me and Lloyd got fired up listening to it, watching it. We looked at each other and be like, dude, I can't wait. Yeah. I just can't wait for August 30th to get here. Obviously, right now, the mode I'm in is excitement mode. And then once it'll get close to August, I'm going to be more on the anxious, I think, a little more nervous than anything else.
We're Bridezillas.
Yes.
Very excited to get married.
Yes. Cold feet when it gets close.
I love to plan it, love to think about it. It's going to be perfect.
Awesome.
What could go
wrong?
48 hours before, I'm not doing this.
No, I'm scared.
But you got to.
Stop. Yeah, postpone.
I don't know if I like the color of these flowers.
The venue, I'm not really a fan of. Don't really like it here.
The venue.
Hate the venue. But yeah, no, I'm excited for August 30th, man. Right now, I'm about as fired up as you can get. Other LSU football news, shout out to Wilson Alexander over at the Advocate. He had a great write-up that we'll obviously discuss today. But the other news he put out is catching up on an offseason move. LSU punter/holder Peyton Todd transferred to ULM after spring ball for his final season of college football. So that means it will be Middle Tennessee State transfer Grant Chadwick that gets the nod at punter.
Not so fast, my friend.
Your guy Badger?
Don't forget about Badger.
Hey, I like Badger. Badger puts out some really good videos on the social media sphere of him showing off his leg. But there is Peyton Todd. He is transferring. He's headed up north. To Fun Row.
He's going to love it.
To ULM. He is going to love ULM.
He fits right in.
He's going to love ULM. But yeah, so it will officially be a new face at punter after this roller coaster at the position where you get Jay Bramblett in for 2 years. Shout out to Jay Bramblett, was excellent. 2 claps, ready. Was huge for LSU. And then obviously last year, is it Todd? Is it Oceandorf? What's the word? Never really got it figured out. This year you've got your guy in Chadwick. You went and got out of the portal, and he will be the guy at punter. I know. We'll see. But
we'll see Badger out there booming balls again.
That's very possible. Very true.
He is inconsistent is the word that can get thrown around.
When it hits,
it's incredible.
It looks good.
It's crack.
But
he's 5'6".
Yeah, no, it's awesome. I love it.
It's like go to the circus.
Next to Oceandorf, who's like 6'7".
St. John's 6'6" too. Who's that?
But yeah, shout out to Wilson Alexander.
Shout out to Badger.
Shout out to Badger.
Shout out to St. Todd.
And then Wilson had a really good write-up at the Advocate on the new revenue sharing era at LSU. We'll get into that after the 2 claps this morning. Starting off the 2 claps, Nick Saban. God, he's really pulling on the heartstrings ever since he retired.
Yeah.
Like he's just trying. It's almost like he's trying to win LSU fans back over because he knows the torture. I don't think he understands that we don't hold that against him.
Well,
we're not mad. We're not that mad at you.
This very much feels like an abusive relationship, right?
A little bit.
He's trying to get you going, get you off your, get you on your feet.
It's called breadcrumbing.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to drop a little crumb here.
Well, no, just like the whole story in totality, like kind of like makes you gives you money.
Yes.
Makes you rich. All the trappings of success, and then he up and leaves in the middle of the night, and then he goes to your best friend,
your arch rival.
Yeah. They weren't even a thought.
Yeah.
And then he builds this monolith up, and then he's like, oh, but I really wish I did it at LSU. It's like, you're something else. But
I love you.
But I love you.
I hate you, but I love you.
He continues to get away with it.
But he's 1,000% right. I mean, listening to him to talk about how proud he is of what he built at LSU, like he is the architect of the powerhouse that is LSU football now. He built it up so well that a guy that we were going to show in a clip right after this was able to win a championship there.
2 different ways to go about it.
2 different ways to go about your business. But here's Nick Saban talking at the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame this weekend.
Proud. Every time I see LSU, all the time I coached at Alabama, I know it was a great rivalry, but I was always proud because I felt like we did something to raise the bar here, and the program has been outstanding ever since.
And that's why he's the best in the business. Head coach Nick Saban, everybody. Congratulations, coach.
Thank you. I'm really...
Yeah, no, I mean, it's been outstanding ever since. Shout out to you, Coach Saban. As much as you tortured us for the last decade, we are still indebted to you. 2 claps for Coach Saban. Ready. The legend, the greatest of all time. That is why he's the greatest of all time. He was able to build a monster at LSU. Here is another LSU championship winning coach, Coach O. Like we said, 2 very different ways to go about it. Carl the Cat actually sent me this yesterday after I had put it in the doc, and then my dad texted me right after and said, Coach O, ... And I was like, awesome.
It's unbelievable.
This is unbelievable.
No. As much as I'd like to say it's unbelievable, it's not. Like, this man has not changed a lick.
On character.
Like,
cannot wait to get that shirt off.
And it's so funny, the comments under like, hell yeah, that's my coach.
That's my coach. It's because he's one of us. Like, yeah, I will forever say.
If you haven't gotten drunk at a wedding and taken your shirt off, you're not from Louisiana.
Right. I'll forever say, I wanted nothing more than this to work out.
Yeah, of course.
Couldn't get that shirt off fast enough.
Because if he was still the head coach, he would still do this.
Yes. No, restart. Restart that thing back. Everybody, tune in.
Go Tigers and go away!
Go Tigers, baby! It's a wedding! He's a guy LSU.
Playing next.
Fuck the cufflinks.
Awesome.
Awesome.
He forgot to unbutton the wrist.
No, he's got the cufflinks
he's got
on.
Cufflinks on.
But he was too. We're already invested, and I'm shocked he
shirt
didn't rip him.
Shirt is off
because that's a man that would be like just the cufflinks.
Yes,
like you would have in a Tommy Boy
the
sketch.
Hulk. Yeah. No, I mean
he would love to rip his shirt off, which he did. He's awesome, dude.
The fastest shirt removal in the world.
But there's no doubt in my mind, like, the juxtaposition of these two things is the funniest thing in the world. Both at LSU.
Yes.
One won a national championship and set up the path for success for 10 years down the road.
Yep.
15 years down the road. And Ed Orgeron that takes his shirt off at weddings still is saying go Tigers and LSU for no reason.
Gonna be taking his shirt off at the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame someday soon.
But, like, that has nothing to do with the wedding.
No.
He's talking go Tigers and roll wave. And go Tigers.
Play my theme music. And then it's neck. They're playing neck.
Guy still loves
Coach
LSU.
O's taking his shirt off.
And this is after he gets into that nearly, like, he put that boy in his place whenever he hit him with the, Roll Tide. And he's like, hey, what you say to me, boy? Like, LSU was so much, it's still so in his veins.
My gosh.
It's unfortunate, but I appreciated it.
Yes. No, I mean, he bleeds purple and gold.
He does.
For the rest of his life. Like, as much as when he first was let go, I was worried about him going and recruiting somewhere else in the SEC.
I don't think
he can do it.
Go Tigers.
Oh, sorry. I mean,
no, for real, no. Go Tigers. You might want to take a look at LSU.
That was awesome. So 2 claps to Coach O, the best wedding guest ever. 2 claps, ready. Absolutely electric.
That's so funny.
Speaking of the LA Sports Hall of Fame, Big Whit was also inducted. Andrew Whitworth deserves 2 claps as he was recognized for all he's done in the state of Louisiana and obviously at LSU. 2 claps, ready. The Manning Passing Academy deserves 2 claps. Great content all weekend. Obviously, got to look at Garrett Nussmeier. You got to see some other quarterbacks. And it really is one of my favorite events to get to see. Like, they talked about Tyler Shuck, which I really liked. Peyton Manning was like, it's really cool. He was a guy that came here as a camper and then came back as a counselor and then is back here now after his first mini camp as a NFL quarterback.
For the New Orleans Saints.
For the New Orleans Saints. Like, he was like, that's as cool of a story as you could have. And that's what the Manning Passing Academy has become. And it's just a kind of a staple in the football world now, and it's been turned into a monster. So 2 claps for the MPA. Ready.
You said there was some content that came out. I happened to find the video. But this is Nuss coaching, which I think is actually pretty impressive.
No, I love it.
For my dog, I want you to go on the opposite side.
Come on, Nuss, let's go.
We're going for plus. All right, we're going to go look. We're going to go X, C, H. For my dog, I want you to go on the opposite side along at Y. You're going to run a post, and then you're the last option. If all else fails.
If I was playing Y,
listen. What? If you're stay at Y, you're at T. You're going to go to T. All right, look, you're going to start right here. You're going to start right here. Marshall, motion him in, and then back out. Listen, slant, spot, backside dig, okay? We're trying to get a roll right here. Marshall, this is where we're trying to get a roll. If they leave him, take it. If not, work the dig to the spot. If all else fails, throw it up to the boy. Got it? Here we go. Come on, right? Here we go. Give me a snap.
This is it. This is all for the marbles.
Hey, you're out here. Hey, no, here we go.
Come on, Marshall. Jesus, this takes forever. Golly.
Just spoiler alert.
Motion is going up and out. We're trying to get a roll.
And this would be this is what you would see in last year where Nuss took a timeout.
Let it rip. Got thrown up.
There's a pick.
Yep, there we go.
That kid stinks. No.
I mean, it was a little too much for the kids, but I do love seeing Nuss's brain work and watching him dissect and break down plays like that and coach up the youngsters. But also another really good piece of media that came out from the Manning Passing Academy is this Canes commercial, which had my grandfather rolling around laughing. Like, he thought it was hilarious. He called me after he saw it the first time. He was like, you seen this Canes commercial? And I was like, no, sir. He was like, with the Mannings and Nussmeier. He was like, it's awesome. So I was like, well, now I got to go watch it. And then it's the first thing on my Twitter, and it has not left my Twitter since. A really cool piece of content from the people over at Raising Canes. Sponsor us, maybe.
Yeah.
And
one love,
brother. With Nussmeier and Arch Manning, as well as Archie Manning in the film as well.
Oh, yes. Sirree.
Excited to get a break for lunch with you. That's a lot of family time at the Manning Passing Academy.
Were Peyton and Eli giving you too much advice?
I wish. Dad is killing me. He will not leave me alone.
Tell me about it. At least your dad didn't move to Louisiana and start calling plays.
At least your dad knows what he's talking about.
Does he though?
Jeez, I don't know who's more high maintenance, quarterbacks or their dads.
Hey, Todd, I'm just a grandfather.
Hey guys, funny seeing you here. Welcome to Cane's. What can I get you?
I'll have my usual, the cognac.
Ooh, delightful, Dad. I'll throw in an extra cane sauce for you.
I'll have a box combo with a sweet tea.
Aren't you forgetting something?
Please, may I have a box combo with a sweet tea?
Better.
Can I please order?
No shot. Your dad already called in your order. He doesn't trust your decision making.
I gotta start hanging out with linemen.
That's a pretty good dig.
That was as good as it gets. He already called in your order. Great
Decision
delivery
making.
from Cooper.
Uh-huh.
Cooper's excellent.
I think you felt that.
Yeah, doesn't trust your decision making. A lot of people were tweeting it like, "Oh, same."
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
okay,
that's what I'm saying. Like, it's a great dig.
It's a great dig, but really good commercial from Raising Cane's. As the Mannings are all over the place, like everywhere, and rightfully so. They're great.
You didn't even have the other two.
No, and there's the two most popular ones.
Yeah, the two. They're like the Mannings and like Will Ferrell.
Yes.
Like it feels like no matter what they do, people love it.
And they, I mean, they do a good job.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like it's
not-
excellent
they're not
content
wrong.
every time.
Yeah.
Like it really started with the Manning cast on Monday nights, and then it's just blossomed into this media monster that they've become.
Omaha.
Yes. But shout out to Canes on an excellent commercial. Next, two claps. Ready. Next up, Carl the Cat deserves 2 claps as he had a little sit-down interview on LSU Odyssey last night. Lon had him on the show. And I thought, Carl, you did an excellent job as he was tabbed Carl the Cat LSU Superfan, which is exactly what you are. So, 2 claps for Carl the Cat. Ready. Legend. Appreciate you joining us every single morning. AJ Sports Cards, like we said, put on an excellent event. Our sponsor, AJ Sports Cards, located over there on Drusilla Lane. They did an excellent job setting up the primetime sports events, the Death Valley Sports and Collectibles Show, where they had everybody, the vendors, up and down the executive center of Crown Plaza, where we were able to get some artwork. They had all the cards you could imagine. Like, in name a player, there was a card of that player in that place. And they had an excellent job taking care of the LSU baseball guys. They had Bear Jones, Monster Milam, Daniel Dickinson, Cade Anderson, Ashton Larson, William Schmidt, go down the list. They had the guys in there, and they did an excellent job keeping it nice and organized, letting the guys sign some autographs, take some pictures. Really, really good job. So AJ Sports Cards, our friend, our sponsor, 2 claps. Ready. Last but not least, Malik Beasley. I don't know if you've seen the story, Lloyd, as he's in trouble for potentially
I saw what he
gambling on some games. And I really wanted you to sit back and watch this clip because it is as blatant as it gets. The spread of this game was 8.5. And it becomes a 119 to 110 basketball game after the free throw is made, which is obviously a 9-point lead. Malik Beasley then gets the ball, dead sprint down the court to cut the lead from 9 to 7. I mean, Buddy had the under.
Yeah.
Like, this is as blatant as it gets. 5 seconds left. Batum puts it up, puts them up 9. Look at him.
Beasley's going to get it blocked. One last shot.
There you go. 0.4 left on the clock. Save the spread.
Damn.
Like, dude, that is as blatant as it gets.
My God.
Like, couldn't get the ball into him fast enough. He's, hey, here. Dead sprint down the floor. Cuts it to 7.
He clearly wants something.
Yeah,
like,
whether he needed like a milestone or something. There was a reason he got the ball in because it's a 9-point ball game. That game is over, cuz. Like, it's gone.
He won.
You're not winning.
He won the bet.
Yeah, the bet cash, though, got the spread under 8.5. That was, I figured you would appreciate that, Lloyd.
Great.
That was, so Malik Beasley, respect to the commitment to your craft. 2 claps. Ready. That's it. That's the 2 claps for today.
Damn, how much do you think he had on it?
I don't know. It was important, though. He didn't want to. I mean, this is the thing. Even if it was just $10, you have the ability
to change
to
the
make
game.
your bet cash. Like,
yeah, appreciate
make that thing cash.
And this is now that I'm thinking about it, it's even funnier because I'm sure somebody that lost that had it at 9
is pissed at him.
He's like, he's betting.
Oh yeah,
like
they
you would
would
watch that and
out.
be like, what the fuck would you do that?
It was
like,
probably like put on bad beats.
Oh, absolutely. That is as blatant as like you thought you had a cash ticket. Like, couldn't be rooting harder for Batum to make a free throw.
Right.
Like, boys, we're good.
Oh yeah, we're sitting,
we're
sweating.
What is he doing?
we're sweating. It's 5 seconds left. Come on, Batum. We need it. Need it.
No.
Hits the free throw. Let's go.
And it's not like it was a catch and like just shooting a shoot. Like he's scoring.
Give me the ball.
Like,
give me the ball.
What is happening?
Like dead sprint, Usain Bolt down. Like you would have thought it was a 1-point game, and this shot was to win the basketball game.
Well, it was a 1-point game for him.
Like that's a game-winning shot for him right there.
That's awesome.
That was like that's as blatant as it gets. Like I saw, like people were making fun of like a couple different plays and tweets and things. Like that's my favorite thing is people start to call out all these different moments. This one to me was the most blatant I had ever seen. Like remember the Jonte Porter stuff came out. There was a clip of him like banking in a 3 and looking pissed about it. Like that wasn't quite as blatant as like.
No, I'm taking the ball, going 94 feet, and dunking it.
Had a desire
against the clock.
Yes,
it's a race against.
I'm gonna get down there in 5 seconds.
Yeah, got to.
Have to. As blatant as it gets, Malik Beasley
playing to the whistle, coach.
Game's not over, coach. Still got a chance. 9 points, 5 minutes. Tracy McGrady scored 13 in 30 seconds.
Yeah,
but it was absolutely unbelievable. I figured you would really appreciate it.
I did.
As you, what would have really been smart is we could have sniffed this out soon, and just kind of paid attention to Malik Beasley and been like, "What's
see which way he's going?
Which way is he leaning?"
And the other thing you could do is start just looking for other basketball players that are definitely gambling, because this is a problem. This is a problem.
This is not just a one-off.
No, like this is. We're in an interesting time in sports because
it is.
This
it's
is like
right
the 4th or 5th guy in the NBA that's been caught gambling on the sport. Nobody really cares, it feels like.
Yeah, regular season games, it's like, okay, what's the big whoop? Like, you could easily get away with it. It's just when it's blatant.
But it's not like...
Or you don't do a good job making your username.
But Keyshawn Booty fan 1. Unbelievable. But it's the thing that should scare you kind of is it's not like a classic movie scene where it's a guy that has, NBA, NFL, whatever, athlete's family. Like, you better lose the game.
I'll bust your kneecaps.
He's just like, $50 parlay, like, shit. I can get
Malik Beasley under 8 points.
I can do that today.
I can do that today.
For
we don't
quick
really
15?
need to win this game. It's plus 500 for me to score under 8.
I mean,
sold.
I can literally make sure that happens.
I cannot score today.
I should feel good today. I go for 50.
I mean,
alternate
bet
line.
on that. But yeah, no, that was as blatant as it gets. It was pretty entertaining when I saw that video. I could not believe what I was looking at with my own eyes, because like literally dead sprint down the court. Don't forget, every single day we are brought to you by All About Inflatables. Our friend Gabe Patterson over there at All About Inflatables does an excellent job, as it is summertime. It's July 4th this week. This is the time to call All About Inflatables. Have a party, whether it's a birthday, whether it's just July 4th, or you just want to have a water slide. It is top-notch equipment with the water slides. You get a tarp down in your yard to keep it clean. Water slide goes down.
Jump slide,
take care of it. They take care of everything, get it up and going for you, let you know how to handle it. Easy to rent on the website, allaboutinflatablesds.com, and you can call them with any questions at 225-667-2386.
There's my favorite.
The Tiger Belly Bouncer.
Uh-huh.
They'll come back and they'll pick it up. I actually took that picture. they'll come back and they'll pick it up that day, or you can have it overnighted. I know.
Everywhere.
Everywhere. You can have it overnighted, and they'll pick it up the next day. But make sure you get in touch with All About Inflatables. Rent your water slide, your bounce house, get you ready for this summer at allaboutinflatablesds.com. But appreciate them. And if you do rent from All About Inflatables, make sure you let them know you heard about it here on Tingle & Co. Shout out to our sponsor, All About Inflatables.
Yeah, let them know Tingle & Co. got you wet. The water slide.
What time is it? 7:45. Not quite 8 a.m. yet. Lord have mercy. But like we said.
Or they made you dry. Dry slide.
Bounce house.
Bounce house.
Tiger belly bouncer.
That's right.
There you go.
I took that picture.
I did. But like we said, really good write-up over the weekend from Wilson Alexander. Because I think my biggest thing that I enjoyed about this write-up was the fact that there's just not really, like, I know the foundational of the revenue sharing, like what it means. I can explain that. I don't really understand how it works. And I thought this was a really good write-up over on the at the Advocate by Wilson Alexander on how the Tigers plan on spreading out their $20.5 million that they will be spending in revenue sharing as starting July 1st, which is that tomorrow? Mm-hmm. Starting tomorrow is when it begins. So it'll be $20.5 million during the upcoming school year given to athletes. $2.5 million of it is coming from the creation of 65 new scholarships, and I think the majority of those new scholarships are for women's sports. But so it'll be interesting to see how this all kind of works out. But I thought this was a really good write-up by Wilson on how LSU will pay the players. It says, over the first half of the year, booster collectives nationwide front-loaded lucrative NIL deals. They understood their agreements could be denied by the clearinghouse, so they pushed out millions of dollars before the House settlement took effect. LSU's collective Bayou Traditions plans to spend at least $10 million on the football roster. Those deals rolled into revenue sharing, and once the settlement was approved, LSU began issuing contracts to players. The deals, which vary in length and compensation, pay athletes for the non-exclusive right to use their NIL instead of making them employees. Players have to participate in social media posts, autograph signings, and other promotional materials in exchange. LSU will allocate 75% of that money to football. So $13.5 million in this first year will go to football. The 15% will go to men's basketball, which is $2.7 million. 5% to women's basketball, $900,000, and then 5% to the rest of the sports. Schools can be hit with fines, coaching suspensions, and a reduction in transfers for violating the cap. So there are consequences if you violate that cap number, which are fines, coaching suspensions, and reduction in transfers. The way they determined how to distribute this money is they followed the formula that the NCAA used to pay that $2.8 billion back in the back damages that they did to former athletes, and gave the majority of that money to football and men's basketball players because that's who generated the most revenue. So they do say that every LSU team will receive some money. The ones that aren't getting as much still will have what they need financially to compete. LSU is not cutting any sports. Our ability to do this is from Zen. Let's see if we find the full name here. Why can I not find her full name in this? Kelly Zen. This is from Kelly Zen. She said, there is enough. Our ability to do this and also support that decision in big part is our fan base and how much they have embraced and celebrated sports beyond basketball and football. And as long as they continue to do that, they're going to see us work aggressively to make sure those sports are well positioned for the highest of success. So shout out to the LSU fan base for all of their support and making it possible to continue to push other sports outside of just the ones that make the most money. So we'll see what the kind of effects will have. But it does feel like, and Lloyd, correct me if I'm wrong, to me, it feels like LSU is much more prepared for this than they were for the original NIL shift in 2022.
Yes, absolutely. Like you kind of feels like you're on the forefront of it almost.
Right.
Like where you have, and I'm sure everybody has a plan. This becomes part of your job now. If you work in an athletic department, like this was never something you had to worry about, and so you've seen how, like you saw how the, I guess, staff cuts kind of took place early because you're trying to find money and how to allocate funds to do all this, and this is at least a structure in which LSU feels like it can operate under because of the people you have, whether it be Austin Thomas. This feels like a role that does, or a way to build a team that does suit Brian Kelly best.
Yeah, no, definitely. Like this feels very professional, and I want to credit a lot of the preparation, obviously, to the people named in the article: Taylor Jacobs, Kelly Zinn, Austin Thomas. To me, I feel like plays a huge role in the dynamic between the administration and the people handling this aspect of it to the actual football part, where there's a plan being put in place between the administration and how they handle the revenue sharing, and then how that 13.5 is actually getting allocated to the players. It really does feel like a very connected and joint effort by LSU, especially LSU football, on these fronts to take care of business. The one thing that I think is the most interesting is the new clearinghouse. And what was the name of it? It was something very basic. That the College Sports Commission was created to oversee the system, and new rules are designed to limit spending by boosters. Different roster sizes also replaced scholarship limits. So the College Sports Commission, to me, sounds like something eerily similar that we've had. It's just the NCAA, is it not? Is it not the, what was it called? The people that went and
audited
LSU basketball and investigated Will Wade or whatever. It's the College Sports Commission that will be overseeing all of this. They are the clearinghouse. Yeah, let's find some names. But the NIL clearinghouse will look at all of these deals. They'll try to track like the collectives and the boosters, because that's the goal to me that from what I've understood from this, is that the money being raised and paid by boosters will no longer kind of rule the world. It'll more so become just revenue sharing. The schools that make the most money will have the most money to pay their players. Athletes can still find sponsorships of their own. LSU has shifted its focus toward finding third-party NIL for them. LSU believes its brand value will make a difference, not only for football and basketball players, but also for Olympic sport athletes who won't make as much from revenue sharing. Outside NIL deals don't count against the cap. So this is starting to feel a lot like what the original plan and thought process was, where there's revenue sharing coming from the school. The players are making the money that they are building. Like the job that they're doing playing the sport, they're getting a piece of that pie. And then they're also going to be allowed to have their own deals, like the program LSU launched through Playfly Sports, the longtime multimedia rights partner, is designed to find endorsement deals for athletes. So there's 2 Playfly employees now working within NILSU. So, or NILSU Max. So they're still going to be out there looking. There's so many names. They're going to be looking.
It's the HBO route.
It's just going to become Max.
Would make it bigger.
And then it's going to be, back to NILSU Max.
Yeah.
But yeah, you gotta add a little spice to it. Can't just be NILSU.
This is up for
NILSU
paperwork reasons.
NILSU Elite. That would be an AAU team.
NILSU Plus.
There you go. NILSU Gold.
Yeah, have that one.
There you go.
You got LSU Gold.
Shout out. But so they're still gonna have these deals. The players are gonna be able to make
premium content,
I guess. But so we'll see how it ends up all kind of working out. But it is interesting. It does bring me some sense of positivity, because I feel like LSU is just very well prepared for this era in college football. It seems like they have a plan laid out, that they understand the changes that are happening. And like Lloyd said, it really does feel like they're at the forefront of it. Like that LSU is a big part of kind of pushing this movement forward and creating this new dynamic in college sports. So I'm going to be very interested to see how much it really pays off for LSU because it does really feel like they are prepared and ready to handle business in this new revenue-sharing era of college sports.
It will be interesting to see the power dynamic. Like, I know you reported on how they plan to split it up, but you have two very headstrong coaches that love to win and love to recruit and love to get talent. Kim Mulkey, good luck, like, telling her what to do.
Right.
Or how much. Like, she's going to come kick down your door, and she's going to, whatever conversation you have with her, and it's not going her way, she usually wins. Right?
Yeah. Right.
Like, she, look.
Yes.
That's why you hired her. That's why she wins. But don't expect her to just take this and be like, okay, I love the deal. Like, no, how much more can I get? How can I do that? Like, let's talk. What's the number? Let's get it up here. Same thing with Jay Johnson, who's going to be, I want a competitive advantage, and if you have it, like, you hired me to do a job to win, and then you have also Brian Kelly. And it just shows, like, of course, there's like a hierarchy of importance, it feels like. But also, you just have two personalities that are going to go there and try to get as much as they can.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's going to be interesting because the NCAA's back damages payment obviously represents football and men's basketball are the two sports that make the most money. And that may or may not be true at LSU, but the men's basketball definitely isn't the second most popular sport at LSU. So it'll be interesting to see what the dynamic ends up working out at because Lloyd's right. I mean, 75% to football, 15% to men's basketball. Then there's 5% to women's basketball and 5% spread out over the rest of the sports, which includes baseball. So we'll see how the dynamic ends up working out. It will be interesting to keep an eye on. But obviously the biggest thing that most people will be paying attention to is the fact that football now has $13.5 million to spread around from a revenue-sharing standpoint, which is obviously competitive with all the other schools because LSU is in that top bracket of revenue earnings. So we'll see how it works out, and it'll be interesting to see what recruiting kind of turns into now that it is shifted to a more structured approach away from just the Wild Wild West, which it had been. And Hunter Hall said it in the chat, it's back to paying kids under the table. Alabama football is about to be so back.
Yeah.
So, I mean, look, that's the thing to pay attention to. Like, what will it turn into? Because now it does feel more structured than it has been. There are rules in place. There's a cap in place. But everyone is looking for the competitive advantage. So other schools are going to be looking for, well, we still have these boosters with this much money that want to do this, that, and the other. And the collectives are kind of gone in a sense. So how can these things be bettered? That'll be interesting to find out. So E-Dub also with an interesting point. This is the same stuff that was said when NIL first started, and then a month later, oh no, LSU is not prepared to compete. I agree with that in a sense, because when I was saying it, I did get flashbacks to 2021 or whenever when we were saying similar things. I just feel like this is kind of what LSU expected NIL to be from the jump. They were not prepared for the collective / pay-for-play aspect, which I'm not saying they were right or wrong for not being prepared for that, because you should have expected that was what was going to happen. But to me, this current standing, what NIL is becoming with revenue sharing and the third party deals, that's what I thought NIL was going to be from the jump, and I think that's what LSU was kind of expecting and preparing for. So that's why, to me, it feels like LSU is very much prepared for this next era. But I'm not completely opposed to kind of your wait-and-see approach. See if LSU truly is as prepared as it seems as if they are. And you'll find out probably relatively soon with signing day in December and then again in February and then transfer portal classes and all these things. You'll get a pretty good feel for what it actually looks like from an LSU football NIL standpoint now and revenue sharing.
And it'll be interesting to see how this NIL clearinghouse operates, right? Because that's your way to spend more than the allotted money that you're given just through the school. Like, this is a very long and conflated and just super long-winded, circumvented way to get to paying players. Like they're not. It's like they're still trying not to admit it a little bit. It's like, oh well, yeah, we should have been. So you just gave away $4 billion because that's how much you should have been paying players this entire time, and that number was agreed to, so it's probably low.
Yeah,
and
no, it was a settlement,
right? Like they're like, yeah, that's what's the number? That's
yeah, $2.8 billion was not the start.
Yeah,
that's not what the players threw out there.
But so if you don't expect for the the NIL clearinghouse and people trying to circumvent this. Because, like, oh, if you bring me, you can still pay for NIL. You can still do it. You just have to go through this clearinghouse where they review it and say if you're deemed worthy doing whatever job it is for this amount of money.
Yeah.
And I just don't know how you can put a cap on that. I don't know how you can, like, what is there to say?
What's the rubric?
Right. It's like you're going to arbitration, but it's like, this is my worth.
Right.
A sense if somebody's willing to pay for it, you're kind of having the same conversation. But if you do have somebody that runs it with an iron fist, and it's like, no, like I think that's the rub in this whole thing.
Yeah.
It depends on how they handle that part of it, where people actually get in trouble or actually like, no, dude, you're not making more than X for the job that you're been given. And it's like, okay, that's some way to regulate it. But then the next step will just be exactly what Hunter Hall said. I had to do it off the books.
Yeah, no, I mean that. Like, I wouldn't be like everyone is looking for that competitive advantage. I think places are going to try to do it the right way through the clearinghouse for a period of time. Mm-hmm. If they don't see that as a successful and effective way of doing business, the next steps will be taken.
Oh,
because
every time you go to the clearinghouse, it's going to get approved. You'd be like, yeah, that's fine, perfect, by the books, and then it could come back in simulator.
Yeah, so. It'll be interesting to see what it looks like. And I think the clearinghouse, you are 1,000% right. And I think the other thing that's going to come out of it is probably a lot more litigation. Like there's going to be a lot more of these court cases between Zakai Ziegler and the NCAA or all these players or schools and the College Sports Commission or whatever. Like it's going to definitely play a huge role, and we'll see. We'll kind of have a front row seat to all of it as they're learning on the fly once again. It does feel like a bit more of a calculated plan from the College Sports Commission standpoint and LSU. But like we said, in 2022, you were learning on the fly, and it turned into something you weren't expecting. Don't be surprised if that same story happens again here in 2025.
Because the same thing could happen again, right? Wherever you get the outline of what the rules are and you try to follow them to a T.
Yes.
And it's like, oh, this is how it was supposed to be because you already had what was LSU's first NIL deal was Livy Dunn.
Right.
Like, she's already – that's not what
Which
this
is
has
what
become. That's what I'm saying. Like,
oh,
this makes perfect sense. We'll fly her up to New York, put her on a billboard. As in my mind, I was like, you don't need to make somebody that's famous already famous. Like, that's not what this is going to be.
Right.
And it became – we said it on the show a year ago where we're going, how long until they start playing recruits? Like, once this thing started to spin the way that it was, I was like, they're going to start paying high school kids.
Yeah.
Like, this became the ultimate recruiting tool. And then, a year later, it's
Texas
Bryce
A&M,
Underwood for $10 million that Kelly Zinn's quoted as saying. Like, she gave the number out.
Yeah, no, someone said, let me see if I can find it right here. Someone was talking about, they didn't say him by name, but they described a quarterback who decommitted from LSU last fall to get a very high dollar from another institution. An attendee referenced the guy who went to Michigan for $6 or $8 million, and Zinn interjected and said 10. Like, stepped in and was like,
no,
let's make sure we had this right on the record.
Yeah, we'd have paid 8.
Yeah, we were in that ballpark.
Yes.
But yeah, no, it's going to be something to keep an eye. Like, you're going to be seeing it right in front of you, and I do think LSU is somewhat more prepared for this. But is LSU prepared to look for the loopholes like every other school is going to be doing? Like, the second NIL was passed, Texas A&M's first thought was, let's pay high school players. Let's raise money into a collective and pay high school players. And they did it. They had the greatest recruiting class of all time after never having a number one class. I mean, and Jimbo went and beat his chest and said that it's not because of the money or whatever. Whatever.
Buddy.
Like, someone's going to be looking for the loophole. Will it be LSU? It wasn't last time. And it feels like they are just a by the book, and they're prepared to do this by the book, and they've been prepared to handle it all this way. But someone's going to look for a loophole, and someone might find one.
Well, now there's too much, in my opinion, there's too much money around it now. All of the big-time donors, all of the boosters that they had to rally to get, now they taste a little bit of blood, and they're like, I think I like this. Like, I like the kill. And so now to try to shoosh them away is going to be like, no, how can I help? How can I? Like, I loved being involved in the athletic parts of this because what would you do? Like, they're not, while they're billionaires, they're still people
just like me
that love their school.
I don't have a lot of money, and I'm still sending a monthly check to buy your traditions.
And then that's the thing. It's like, oh, I've always loved LSU athletics.
Right.
Like, I have a ton of money to play with, and now I feel like I'm in the game. Like, I can affect this change and make LSU good. And now you're telling me I really can't as much as I was. Like, buddy, billionaires figure it out.
Yes.
Like, what's the rule? Like, no, I know somebody. Like, because once now they're involved, and you've circled them all together in a bunch of different schools.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, I was involved. I'd like to stay involved, and you'd be a fool to ignore him or her and what they're trying to offer and give you money.
Yeah. No, it's going to be a little entertaining to sit back and kind of watch how it all happens.
Or frustrating.
Or very frustrating.
Yeah.
From an LSU standpoint. So don't forget, every day we're brought to you by Range Fit. You see it right here in front of me. Lloyd was enjoying it all throughout Omaha, staying alive.
I'm empty.
Yes, you are.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Did all the sticks. Well, I was giving away a little couple promo packages for the boys on the
Shout
bus.
Shout out.
Which they enjoyed.
They did. Shout out to Range Fit. Don't forget
send another one.
to go to rangefit.com, and you can order your own with discount code TINGLE to get 15% off. So they've got 3 excellent flavors. You can get the kind of the jars like these, or you can get the variety pack with the sticks to just put in your water and be ready on the go. Great hydration, no sugar. It's a healthy alternative to stay hydrated with all the electrolytes. It's delicious. Make sure you go to rangefit.com. Use code TINGLE, TINGLE, for 15% off. There's the website. Great website. And you've got 15% off if you use the code TINGLE to get one of those packets, get a tub, whatever you want. You've got the 3 flavors right there. You're looking at them: lemon, lime, strawberry, kiwi, blueberry, acai. Delicious, great hydration. We will take a quick break here now that we have hit 8 a.m. this morning, past 8 a.m. this morning. Don't forget, TigerTubaKent, Kent Broussard will be joining us at 8:30 to tell a little bit about his story. You are not going to want to miss that, I promise, so make sure you stay in here. We'll be right back after this.
The roof over your head matters. At CAS Roofing, we don't just install shingles, we build peace of mind. With years of experience and a commitment to craftsmanship, our team shows up on time, gets the job done right, and treats every project like it's our own home. Whether it's a repair, a replacement, or storm damage that caught you off guard, CAS Roofing is ready. We're local, we're dependable, and we stand behind every nail, every shingle, and every promise we make. Because at the end of the day, it's not just about roofing, it's about protecting what matters most. CAS Roofing, built on trust, backed by quality.
First championship was in 2001, but we won the SEC championship. And it had been a while since LSU won one, but that was the first championship I ever won. And I think we can apply this to our life. You know, once you accomplish something, it sets a new horizon. It sets a new standard. And then in 2003, when we won the national championship, that set a new horizon and a new standard. And to me, that contributed, and I'm very proud of the fact that that contributed to the iconic brand that LSU has and the state of Louisiana has, because a lot of people in this country look at this state through the athletic programs at LSU. And I think we raised the bar and raised the standard, and Skip Bertman had a lot to do with this because he was the athletic director. And he and I went and raised $15 million in 3 months to build an academic center so our players could graduate. But that was a part of the commitment to success. But I think that all of us, when we get rid of some of the self-imposed limitations that we have, and we accomplish something of significance, maybe small significance, it's a new horizon. And you do it the next time, and it's another new horizon. and then all of a sudden it becomes the standard. It becomes a standard for you, but it becomes the example for a lot of other people. And through transformational leadership and serving other people for their benefit, you can really help other people have a chance to reach those horizons as well. So with that, I appreciate being recognized here, but I'm really, really proud. Every time I see LSU, all the time I coached at Alabama, I know it was a great rivalry, but I was always proud because I felt like we did something to raise the bar here, and the program has been outstanding ever since. So
and that's why he's the best in the business. Head coach Nick Saban, everybody. Congratulations, Coach.
Thank you.
Welcome back in here, hour number 2. In 20 minutes, we'll be having Kent Broussard, a.k.a. TigerTubaKent, in studio to hang out with us and tell his awesome awesome story. I'm excited for all of you to hear what he's got going on as he's trying out for the LSU Golden Band from Tigerland.
Yeah, how much backstory have we given on this?
Not much, and I don't want to give too much.
That's what I was wondering, how much we were going to tell, because it's a phenomenal setup.
This is an incoming freshman.
At the ripe?
I'm not going to say that part. Incoming freshman to LSU, with only coming to LSU and being a student to pursue his dream of being a part of the Golden Band from Tigerland. Has put in the audition video to get approved for the in-person audition next month in August. Or I guess in 2 months, technically it's still June. In August. So he's going to come in and join us. He's going to bring his tuba for all to see, the weighted vest for me to pop on. And he's going to tell a story and hang out a little bit. And I'm excited for y'all to hear it. I think it's definitely something you're going to find very, very interesting. But another thing to find interesting is Jay Johnson in the offseason. Is there an offseason for Jay Johnson, Lloyd?
No, absolutely not.
Straight back to work. I remember the question was asked at the celebration last week was by Sid Edwards, the mayor, asking Jay Johnson, how long did it take you to get back to work? He said, the second the plane landed.
Yeah.
And he obviously goes out, gets 2 lefties out of the portal, gets Omar Cerna, the top high school catcher, to forgo the MLB draft and head over to LSU, to Baton Rouge, to join next year's team. The second year in a row, he's got the top high school catcher to forego the draft and join the squad. But they're not done yet. They're going to get back to work in the portal. Lloyd, what are some of the names to keep an eye on?
Well, as you've seen, they've already added Ryler Smart, Danny Lachenmeyer, 2 pitchers, and now they also Seth Dardar has been added to the infield.
Braden Simpson
has been added to the infield. And as LSU continues on its hunt, Henry Godbout, a second baseman, has entered the transfer portal, UVA.
Okay.
Ever heard of him? He's also been tied to LSU. It's hard to kind of keep up with who's what, where, and not to say that I don't trust the Kendall Rogers. I just don't know how close he is to it.
Right.
It's one of those things where it becomes anybody could be linked to anything, and because of LSU's success in the transfer portal, it feels like every player that enters the portal, if they're good.
Anytime you see good-looking stats.
Yes, or good-looking players.
Potential.
And it's like, LSU. And then that's the other part of the conversation, which I don't know how warranted this is, but it's like, well, LSU will pay them. It's like, I don't know why that's become the case for LSU baseball. Because you have success in the portal, I guess. I'm sure they are paying them, and I know they are.
You think Tennessee's not?
Exactly. It's not like this. LSU doesn't have this abundance of cash, and that's where this NIL clearinghouse thing is going to become very interesting, because listed in that article was football, men's basketball, women's basketball,
and then all other sports.
But all other sports are all getting this this baked in number. Bullshit. That's just not gonna fly. I've won 2 national championships. I want to be able to compete for a third, because there's other schools that are gonna do the same thing. They're like, no, they're not just sticking to this boilerplate contract of you only get $900,000 with the crew, the rowing crew team or the women's soccer team. It's what are we talking about?
Yeah.
That's just not that's not going to be the fact. So that's where if LSU wants to remain competitive, I think that number is going to be a little bit different than everybody else's when it comes to that allotment of all the other ones get 900,000. I think LSU baseball is probably going to be a little bit higher than everybody else on that list.
Yeah.
Because I don't see how it wouldn't be, first of all, because of the success and it's deserved, but also because of the guy running the ship.
Yeah. No, I mean, I agree. I think it's going to be an interesting conversation on the LSU front of just how that works. Because that's what I was saying. Like, yes, in the NCAA, men's basketball is the second most profitable sports, making the second most money.
It up.
Right. But at LSU, I don't know the full dynamics of the money, and I think men's basketball makes money. It's not the second most popular.
It's not the third
most popular. And so it'll be interesting to see how that dynamic works.
Popular.
Zen said LSU baseball has a significant increase now that it can offer 34 scholarships instead of 11.7, but she declined to specify how many, saying herein lies the competitiveness of things. So there is a scholarship number being increased, or there's a significant increase because of the scholarship number. So we'll see how that dynamic works, but it will be something to keep an eye on because LSU does turn a profit on baseball makes money at LSU. It might not all over the country. Baseball might not bring in money for all these other universities. LSU baseball is making money. I don't know the full behind the scenes financial dynamics. I would be surprised if LSU baseball is not turning a profit just because of the fan support, the success, the TV revenue. Like,
that's probably where they would make money, right?
Right. They just played all the way through June.
Right. I think that's the only way in which you can turn a profit, probably, even if you do. Because for what I've heard forever is that they lose money. Like LSU baseball loses money despite the support and all of it. It's just hard to make money in a non-revenue sport, essentially. And for LSU baseball, it's probably one of the closest, if not the one of three, that do maybe turn a small profit. But that's I think that only comes whenever you make a regional, super regional, go to the College World Series and win it, because of the TV money. And so I think this is probably one of the years where they did. Maybe if they did, that would be the only way I see how.
Right.
But it's not because it's not supported.
Right.
Like you said, not the most revenue, but second most popular sport on campus.
Yes.
Yes.
It's football, baseball, women's basketball.
Yep.
On LSU's campus right now, that's the popularity. Now,
and then when women's college basketball starts, it switches. Like, it'll jostle over. They'll become the second most popular sport.
Right. I'm just saying.
But like whenever you get into the season, and then it becomes baseball again.
Yes.
But
when they're playing at the same time, women's basketball is more popular because going into February and March is SEC play, March Madness versus the start of the season for LSU baseball. So it's going to be interesting to see what the dynamic works. But you're 1,000. Like Kim Mulkey, Jay Johnson, they're going to get theirs. Mm-hmm. And Kim Mulkey has a baked-in number for women's basketball only. Jay Johnson and LSU baseball are in that mix, that other 5%. So it's going I wouldn't be surprised if the percentages shift around a little bit at some point, like where you're not going to be able to just use this uniform. This is what the NCAA did. You're not going to be able to make that shake the same way. So it's going to be something to keep an eye on. But the thought that LSU baseball is just this money machine that's throwing money at players in the portal, to me that thought process comes from Skeens, White, Ianson, go through that's where the conversation was stemmed from. Is the fact that they've gone out and they've recruited so well out of the portal, and then getting a William Schmidt and a Derek Curiel and
Kader and Beatty
go down the list to pass out on the MLB draft. Like, that is where this conversation has begun of LSU's just throwing money at people. But that's not the case entirely. Like, are they paying the play? Like, yes, the players are being taken care of and compensated. But it's not this, Paul Skeens hit the portal, LSU's throwing $5 million at him.
LSU's 10X everybody's offer. Where else would I go? No.
LSU is still LSU. Like, they've still, like, you saw both Lockenmeyer's recruiting photograph and, was it Ryler Smart? His picture, too, when they took their portal picture, their visit picture at LSU, what were they holding in their hands, Lloyd?
National championship trophy.
And how many of those does LSU have?
8.
How many of those have they won the last 3 years?
2.
You think that doesn't speak to both portal guys and high school recruits? When you talk to Daniel Dickinson and Anthony Einson and they talk about why they came to LSU, Michael Braswell, why did you come to LSU? To be a part of a winning program and to win a national championship. And what did they do? They came to LSU, they won a national championship. Jay Johnson told them, I'm sure in their visit, hey, look, you've got an opportunity to come here and do something really awesome. And did he deliver on his promise? Yeah.
Yeah.
Daniel Dickinson and Anthony Einson came here, they did something pretty awesome. But where did they play baseball prior, Lloyd? What was it, UC San Diego and Utah Valley State?
Yep.
Don't say that Jay Johnson's just throwing money at people because he can go out there and identify talent and bring them in. They weren't playing. He didn't get these guys from Tennessee.
Right. He's not pulling them from other SEC programs or
Arkansas,
top 25
right.
programs. It's what do you see? And a lot of it that has happened has been people that have played LSU.
Yes, Zach Cowan.
Where he
Seth Dardar.
Yes. Myers.
Right. Like he saw talent on the field, on the diamond. I was like, you know what?
File that on the old tickler.
I would like that if you came and played for LSU.
Yeah,
I think.
a little conversation.
We'll talk later.
Yeah.
But
Good
yeah,
luck
like
rest of the way.
he talked about it when he talked about Zach Cowan and bringing him to LSU. He was like, when he saw his name in the portal, he was like, oh, well, we have all these numbers in him. We had him on the board and all this thing.
I know how good he is.
Like, this would be nice if we got it. Like, don't hold that against Jay Johnson. Like David Reed, apparently LSU's the Dodgers. They're not.
No, yeah.
From name recognition, yeah, I mean, they can be.
They're
with the
the
Yankees. But they're not. They don't have the Yankees bankroll. And even in the MLB, there's still 4 or 5 teams that have that bankroll. The Mets, the Dodgers, the Yankees, the Red Sox, they've all got the money to spend. So is LSU in that upper echelon of the money being spent? Probably. But they're not alone. They're not at the top of this pyramid that no one else is near them.
Right.
Tennessee's spending money, I promise. They've put together really good portal classes. Arkansas gets some really good portal classes put together.
You know who it is.
Like, it's blatant. It's right there in front of you. But LSU wins.
Right,
not because they're throwing money at people.
And you have the history of it. Like,
yes.
The whole thing is, it's not it's not that hard to draw the line from A to B as to why LSU is successful when it comes to recruiting or in the transfer portal. One, you have a man who works tirelessly at it,
right.
Has the message, knows what he wants to go get, and can identify talent and then have the conversation. And then after all of that,
and has the proof to show you.
Right. And then with that involved, it's LSU baseball.
Right. The standard,
yes.
The brand, the powerhouse of this sport. Like Lockenmeyer.
Of course people are going to want to come here.
North Dakota State pitcher, the transfer, Lockenmeyer, went on a visit to Arkansas before he committed to LSU. What's the difference between LSU and Arkansas right now? Both have really good coaches. One's better, but both have really good coaches. Both are very good programs. Both probably have the same amount of money being able to spend. One of them you can go take a picture with a national championship trophy. One of them you can hold one of those bad boys. Like, look at that. One of them's got that graphical. One of them's got an intimidator. One of them doesn't.
Yeah.
Hayden Pierce. Been a long time since we've seen your name, my friend. LSU is winning because they're spending excessive money on baseball. Don't fool yourself. I'm sorry to break it to you, but you're wrong. Like, they're not spending excessive money on baseball. Are they spending money? Yes. If you think LSU is far and away spending more money than Tennessee or Arkansas or go down the list of these other top programs, I disagree. Lloyd, do you think there's that big of a difference between what LSU and Tennessee are spending on the sport and NIL deals and getting players and recruiting and all those things?
No. I have no
I don't have the numbers.
I don't have the numbers. I have no way to know. But I don't think it's this, like I said, some 10X version of whatever Tennessee, Arkansas, Florida. I don't think Florida's offering anything because I don't know why they don't care about that program.
Right.
But unfortunately, Kevin O'Sullivan is a good coach. I guess he wins a ton.
He does, yeah.
But I don't think they have the support that you would get from like an LSU. But I don't think it's like, oh, they offered me 10 and Tennessee offered me 1. You know? Like it's not LSU saying, here's $10 million to what's their number? Oh, no, we'll go 5 over that. Like, I don't think that's what's happening.
Right.
But I do think that there is a competitive conversation in which every time that there's a guy in the portal or a recruit, LSU has more than enough to be able to stay in the conversation.
Yes. Hayden Pierce, prove me wrong.
I
You don't have the
can't.
numbers, so don't make the argument. Love you, Noah. #CTown. Shout out. But
Well, you don't have
you
the
can
numbers.
show me numbers.
Yeah.
I mean, if you have numbers represent, like if you have the numbers,
If that's the reason I'm
show
wrong,
'em.
it's the reason you're wrong.
If that's if that's the reason why I'm incorrect, I feel like that that's a
It cuts
two-way
both
street.
ways, yes.
But if that's the case, if LSU is only winning because they're throwing around money, why does Texas not have more national championships recently? Why does Texas A&M not have more national championships recently? Why does Tennessee not have more than one? Like, I get that I started the discussion, but if you're gonna do the same argument, you're just throwing back at me without numbers. It's just he say she say right now, or he say between me and you. Mm-hmm. Like you can feel as right as I feel right. That's okay. We can disagree, but don't tell me that I'm wrong if you're not proving me wrong. You prove me wrong.
It's kind of how this works.
I mean, I made the argument. You made an argument back. You should have used
Yeah, if you have
the
numbers,
numbers.
let us know. I'd love to know them.
I would love to see the numbers.
Speaking of,
what you got?
Transfer portal alert. Texas baseball outfielder Easton Winfield has entered the transfer portal. Winfield had a monster freshman season at UL Monroe, but scuffled a few times this year and dealt with an injury. Definite upside present. So, Easton Winfield in the portal with Louisiana ties.
Right.
That's all I can go off of.
There you go.
Played at UL Monroe. Probably wanted to go to LSU at some point in his life.
Right. Headed to Texas. David Reed makes a really...
They traded Peyton Todd.
There you go.
There you go.
David Reed, bro, A&M had the most talented rosters coming into the season. They were crowned champs before the season started, and they did not make the playoffs. They did not make the postseason. Hayden Pierce, I'm not taking away from Jay Johnson's coaching supremacy, but there's no 10 times multiplier. Be journalists and get the numbers. We are not journalists.
We're not journalists.
I've never said that I'm a podcast host. I am a digital media business owner. Like, I'm not a journalist. I'm telling you from what I've deduced, I just don't think that there's a conversation. Like, there's this 10x multiplier that LSU can spend so much more than everyone else, giving them a more competitive advantage. I think LSU's competitive advantage is the fact that they are the brand and they have the best head coach in the sport. That's the competitive advantage. Do they have money to be competitive over smaller programs? Yes. But when you're talking about the cream of the crop of the sport, I don't think LSU has this big-time competitive advantage pocketbook compared to everybody else over Tennessee or A&M or Texas or Arkansas. I just don't think that's the case. And we can disagree on it. That's all right. But the conversation about LSU football was they didn't have all this money and backing to beat all these other teams. Why would it be different for LSU baseball? Appreciate all of you guys joining us this morning. Appreciate the discourse in the chat. I do appreciate you being here, Hayden. I'm not mad at you. #CTown. Love you.
Yeah.
We will take a quick break, and we will reset the set, and we will have TigerTubaKent join us to tell his story as he is looking to be a part of the Golden Band from Tigerland. We will be right back after this.
What is happening?
All right, we are back here, and I have put on 15 pounds in the break. I've got my weighted vest on here. It's definitely this 15 pounds is heavier than like a 15-pound dumbbell. Like 15-pound dumbbell feels pretty light. This has got some heft to it, but this is me training to carry a tuba around. As we've got incoming LSU freshman Kent Broussard joining us this morning. As he begins his journey to be a part of the Golden Band from Tigerland. Good morning.
Morning.
Thank you for joining us. Thank you for coming in.
Good to be here.
No, we're very excited to have you tell your story, which is just awesome. I remember your daughter reached out to me and told me your story, and I just was infatuated by it and wanted to have you in.
He called me immediately. He was like, listen to this. Like, you won't believe. And I was like, I don't actually. Awesome. Like, even while I'm hearing it, I was like, that's
I have
awesome.
to tell you, when I tell people what I'm doing, people my age or younger people, their first instinct is, stop, say that again. That's, and then I explain it to them, and then and then what they say is, that's great, or that's cool, or that's just amazing what you're trying to do. And so it's been a long road.
Right, I'm sure.
It's been a long road, and we'll get into that.
So give the viewers a little backstory on kind of what this journey is for you, what your goal is, kind of where it began.
Yep.
And now you are an incoming freshman at LSU.
What are you majoring in?
I'm going to be what you call a non-typical student. I'm going to be a non-matriculating student.
There you go.
Is what I'm actually classified as. So, basically grew up in Laplace, and we had LSU season tickets for a real long time, and I played in the band at Riverside Academy in Reserve for 4 years, and my band director really got me involved in the band aspect. I went on to play at Southeastern in the band as well for 4 years. I played multiple instruments. I played the tuba, trumpet, baritone, and valve trombone. So I played a lot of brass instruments, and it just got me interested. And back in the day when I was going to school, we didn't have the internet. We had 106 people in our graduating class. 26 went to college out of 106. Wow. 25 went to Southeastern. So I just kind of followed the path. Well, at the same time, and over time, I'm wondering if that was the right decision, and it actually was. To go to Southeastern, because I made a lot of great friends where I met my wife back in 1981, and but always had that hankering about what if I'd have gone to LSU. I would have definitely tried out for the band. When we were going to the games, I'd actually make a trip before the games ended. Back in the day, there was no Upper Bowl, there was no East Side and West Side, and I could make my way throughout the whole stadium and end up by the band and listen to the band after the game, because they used to play, and like they still do. And I just really just loved the sound, loved being the part of just trying to see myself in that over the years. And then, you get married, things happen, and you kind of lose sight of that. But it was always in the back of my head. Right? And as I got older, I started thinking about it. And I brought it to my family about 5 years ago. I said, you know what? I think when I retire, I would like to try out for the band at LSU.
So awesome.
And they said,
what?
And they said, what? and they were almost on the floor laughing at me. And I said, what's so funny? I can do it. And then they kind of said, well, yeah, he's probably serious. And I said, yeah, I'm really serious. So at the time, I was still working and didn't have a chance to really do it because I was still working and we lived in Laplace. We've subsequently moved to Baton Rouge, and that gave me the opportunity to really do this. And the band is one of the most respected entities on campus. The band is one of the most respected bands in the nation and has been for decades.
Right.
And it has a aura about it. And it's just the way that they look, the way they sound, and the way that people respect them everywhere. a Tiger fan knows when the band is there.
Yes.
And they hear it coming, and they know those 4 notes. All right. But it's not just about that. It's about the work that it's going to take to get there.
Yeah.
And
it's not going to be easy.
Oh, well, and I get it. And look, nothing I've done has been easy.
Right.
Nothing I've been, hey, you're wearing 15 pounds, right? So, and I wear that every night, and I walk about 4 miles a night in this weighted vest. That's one of the things that I'm doing physically.
Yeah.
Right. And so, I want to be a part of that excellence. Everything that I've done, it's been about being part of an excellent organization, and it's just what I'm trying to do is to do something that nobody else I don't think has ever done.
No.
Yeah, no.
I
think
don't
you're safe to say that.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody's ever done. And if if my failure would be not to try.
Yes.
Right? That's where the failure would be, not to try. If I have that dream, right, why not give it a shot?
And that's what I wanted to ask you. I'm sorry. It was just like, when did this kind of, like, obviously always in the back of your mind, but when did it become, like, very real, where you're like, I can't stop thinking about it?
You know when it got real? when it got real was when I got the email congratulating me on making it past the first round.
Right.
That's when it got real. And I said, oh,
I'm doing this.
Oh my, this is happening.
I'm in.
Oh yeah. Well, so it's a real long process. I had to enroll. I'm enrolled at LSU. Yeah. I've got classes. I've done my orientation. I have my student ID. I've taken all my shots, all my immunization shots, just like a freshman. Right? Just like
do you have your
I have my student ID.
Account?
I have my student ID with me.
There you go.
I have my student ID with me. My wife says, everywhere you go, look for the LSU student ID discounts, because maybe on top of the LSU student discount, you can get an over 65 discount. So anyway, so I'm being looked on. Subway does a good deal when it comes to that, by the way. Yeah, Subway does a good deal, by the way. So anyway, it's been a long road, but what I've tried to do is to make it to where I give myself the best chance to be successful.
Yeah.
I started this when we moved to Baton Rouge about 15 months ago. I went on the internet searching for a tuba. They're hard to find.
Wow.
They're really hard to find that are in a good playing shape. I got this one out of a guy in Los Angeles.
Wow.
He was in a mariachi band, and he collected them, and he actually renovated them. So I bought this one. The next thing, okay, so I remember stuff from 45 years ago, but I don't remember much, right?
Yeah.
So I needed a teacher. LSU has a program where you can ask for people to help you with practicing and getting back in the groove. And there was a great graduate assistant, and I'll give him a plug, Matthew Thompson, and he just graduated with his graduate degree from LSU School of Music, and he's moving on to Georgia. But he's helped me. I've been working with him for a year on the musical side of it, and he's got me. He got me to where I am. He was the one that helped me with the audition piece, helped me put it together, and he's been tremendous, and he's going to be a great musician, and he's going to be a great teacher, and so I think musically is fine.
Yeah,
musically I'll get there. Audition wise, it was fine. It was easy, and I think that ultimately, then it becomes the physical aspect and the mental aspect and the heart aspect. Your heart's got to want to do it.
Yeah.
If you're not into this, carrying this in August,
right?
Like
outside,
you're not just doing a bit.
No. This is not a bit.
Yeah.
This is
real.
This is a passion.
Yeah.
This is gonna be a passion, and so I said physically, I've been running since I was 50. So I run about 20 to 25 miles a week, and so that's kept me fit. I started lifting weights about 6 months ago, so I'm lifting weights. In the last 3 weeks, I've started with this vest, walking around with the vest. So I'm trying to do as many things as I can physically to get myself ready from a physical aspect. The mental aspect, I think, is not going to be just for me. It's going to be for all of the young adults that are going to be out there, both the men and the women. It's going to be the heat.
Right.
Even if you're from South Louisiana, being out there and just standing, and just standing and standing and standing is going to be tough to do. It is. It's going to be difficult, and so it's going to be not only a physical aspect. You've got to make sure that we're going to be hydrated and we're going to be watching each other, but you've got to mentally be able to get past that.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to do all that. I'm trying to manage the mental aspect, the physical aspect, and the heart aspect. The heart's in it,
of course.
And so I've made it past the first round. The way this works is, and it's there's several hundred kids that are going to be trying out, and everybody goes, and there's a length of time that they put you through the paces. They teach you the music, they teach you how to march, and then they do another audition, and then they tell you whether or not you make it or not.
Yeah.
And so I've made it through the first round.
Okay.
And
congratulations.
Thank you. And obviously, nothing is guaranteed on this.
Of course.
Absolutely nothing is guaranteed. Like I said, the failure would be not to try. And I'm thinking that the other thing is that I'm hoping I'm getting across is that people retire like me,
right?
But dreams do not retire.
Yeah.
Right. And that's important for people like me, or younger people who have retired, or older people that have retired, or people that have been retired. Don't give up on it.
Yeah.
Keep trying. Do it. Do it if you physically can, and push yourself, challenge yourself, and that's what this has done. It's trying to challenge myself musically, physically, and mentally. All right, to be able to do something that I don't know if anybody's ever done.
Yeah.
Either at LSU or maybe in the Southeastern Conference or anywhere.
Right.
Especially with this instrument.
Yes.
Right. So, but anyway, I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully it's a great experience, and I know it will be. These are great kids.
Right.
And everybody's working hard. Yeah. All of the wind instruments, the drummers, the Golden Girls, the color guard, the directors, they all work tremendous, and a lot of people don't realize that.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of time and effort, and they're going to have to be there in order to. And most people just see the straight lines and they hear the music. They don't understand what goes on before it happens.
Yeah, behind the scenes.
It's hours and hours and days and days and days of practice, and I tip my hat to them all.
Of course.
And I just want to be a part of that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. What was the reaction when you first began to not only look into this? Like, when did you come? Like, what are the things I'm going to have to do? Like, I'm going to have to enroll in school.
Well, so I started with my background is in accounting, and I was an accountant, an accounting major at Southeastern, and so it's all spreadsheet generated, right? So I started putting stuff on the spreadsheet.
There you go.
And the first thing I had to figure was the first thing I've got to do, is it possible? So my daughter reached out and actually figured out through the Tiger Band director that I was eligible, and there was no age limit, and that's important. There was no age limit.
Right.
There was none. I mean, there was none written, and so that was super important. And so that was the first thing. Then the second thing was I eligible because I had previously played 45 years ago at another school, and they said no. My Tiger Band eligibility was wide open. So that was the first thing. I had to figure out if I was eligible to do that. And then the second thing was, could I get accepted to LSU?
That was my next
right.
question.
I mean, after 45 years,
right.
I'm thinking Southeastern probably doesn't even have my transcripts. From 1980, and it said. So I called Southeastern and said, I need my transcripts.
What are you doing?
And I said, what do you? Well, that's Lloyd. That's what they said. They said, can I ask you, what do you need them for? We don't get this many requests from 1980 graduates for transcripts. So I told the lady, and she kind of, yeah, okay. I don't think she thought it was serious, and she said, oh, by the way, so everything is electronic. Southeastern had gone to electronic, and so within a day they had them.
Awesome.
Within a day they had my transcripts, and they sent them to LSU. So that was another hurdle. Then the next hurdle was fill out the application, and then did I get accepted?
Mm-hmm. Right.
They only accept 7,800 students a year. From what I understand, when I did my first orientation, at the time there was 54,000 applicants. 54,000. Wow. They thought it was going to be over 70,000 applicants. So if I made it, I was going to be in the top 10% of even making it.
Yeah.
Of all the applicants. So I had to be accepted. That was the next hurdle. being accepted. And then
What'd you get on the ACT? Did you have to read?
no, I didn't. Oh my God! Hey, what do you get? Would I get a 12 for putting my name on it? That's about what it would be. That's about what it would be.
Did they look at your old score? Like, is that
No.
okay.
And I think really, Lloyd, the reason is because I'm going to be a non-matriculating student.
Yeah.
Right. And
you already have a college
I
degree.
have two.
So yeah,
Right, so
you're an
good.
accountant. I think you're number
I've got
good.
2 degrees. Right. I've got 2 degrees, and I took the CPA exam, passed the CPA exam, and I was a CPA for many years. Didn't keep that because my job moved me into different directions that I didn't need that. But so anyway, I already have 2 degrees. It's just about being there, being part of the university, and I was trying to do it all web-based.
Of course.
I didn't want to really have to go to school. Go to class.
Yeah, right,
go to class.
right. Yeah,
Go to class. Go to class with the 18-year-olds. And I said, you know what though?
That's awesome.
But at the end of the day, you know what? That's what it's about.
Part of the
I want to be there with these kids.
Yeah.
Right? I want to be there with the kids. I'm going to
be a real student.
I want to be there with the band kids.
Yeah.
Why don't I be there with these 18-year-olds in class?
Right.
Or 19-year-olds, right?
Yeah.
So
Gonna be a legend.
I'm looking forward to that as much as anything.
That's awesome.
I really am. I'm looking forward to the whole thing.
I hope Max has.
You're gonna have homework.
I have a younger.
Oh God! Don't even talk about homework. I have no idea how I'm gonna do this.
I have a younger brother who's an incoming freshman. I pray he's in one of your classes.
I would love it. You gotta let me know if he is.
I will.
Let me know if he is.
That would be awesome. But
TigerTubaKent.
Yeah, I guess
he's on academic probation. Makes the team.
I have to maintain a C average I gotta maintain a C average to stay in the band if I make it.
I guess just for a little clarity for everybody. So your dream started at how old, and then how old?
Oh, okay. So the dream probably started. The dream probably started when we started going to LSU games, and I've been a Tiger fan since I've been like 6 years old.
Okay.
Like 60 years, right?
Yeah.
Been to numerous games, have a lot of long-time memories about LSU games, the ones that stick out in my head. But probably 30 years ago, this started just in the back of my head.
Right.
I'd always wanted to do it. What if? And then, as I said, as we moved to Baton Rouge, it gave me the opportunity to take that dive. That was the impetus for being able to do that, because I couldn't do it from Laplace. I mean, I wasn't going to be able to do it from Laplace. And just moving to Baton Rouge gave me that opportunity to do that.
Did you move to Baton Rouge maybe just because this was your idea?
No, actually, it wasn't. Actually, one of the big reasons is that we had flooded twice in our home.
Oh, nice.
And that, and we didn't really want to go through that again. And that's hard. That's hard on the family, hard on us. And as we get older, that's the last thing elderly folks want to go through.
Of course.
It's very disruptive, and so. And we love Laplace. We have a lot of great friends there still, and it was a hard decision, but we made it, and it was just one of the outgrowths of moving gave me the opportunity to do this, right? And so, but it started 30 years ago. It really came into focus 5, and then it really started a year ago.
Yeah,
all of the work.
Talk about your family's support.
Their
reaction when you first brought it up, and then just kind of the role they've played and where
yeah.
you are
So
now.
like I said previously, 5 years ago when I brought it up, they said, "Wait, what? What do you want to do?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm serious. I want to do this." And so the first thing my oldest daughter did, she got on the internet and she actually started communicating with the band to see if I was eligible in those 2 ways.
Situation.
Yeah, and my wife is extremely supportive. She wants to be in the student section, and I told you, I can't get you in the student section unless you're a student, because I'm not going to get student tickets. I don't think. I mean, I might. I might get student tickets.
Apply for them.
I'm going to have to. Or you know what? I can buy them from a freshman, maybe.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm going to buy them from a freshman. So she's 100% into it. My youngest daughter's 100% into it. Everybody that I talk to, they are 100% behind me. They want to see me succeed.
Yeah.
And like I said, everybody I've spoken to is just they first of all don't think I'm serious, but then when they hear the story and they hear what I've been through, they say, "Well, yeah, he is serious."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it is a serious thing, because what they do is serious.
Of course.
What they do this year. This is all fun and games right now, but there's been, as I said, a lot of work has gone into it up to this point, and a tremendous amount of work will go into it up until the time the band steps off.
Yeah, and I would imagine the goal and to get to the end of it is so worth it. Like you said, like all the hard work and everything. But when you really think down about it, like if you can't play football for LSU, what's the next closest thing you can have to have a full Tiger Stadium experience and be actually a part of it and contribute?
Yeah, that's
being
the thing.
in the band would be it because
That's
such
it.
a lure.
And as I said, besides the football team, what's the most recognizable thing that LSU does? It's the band.
Right.
It's the walking off. It's when people when it's, and there's
the four notes.
There's 105,000 people that are screaming when you walk out of the end zone and they start with the four notes, right? 105,000 people. And I'm not doing it for that. I'm not doing it for that. And I understand that's going to be an outgrowth of it, but it's about being a part of something like that.
Yeah. Yes.
Being a part of something that all of these kids and these directors and that everything works so hard to put together, and you see the final product. That's what it's going to be about, right? And it's going to be about something that you dream about,
right,
for years and years and years, and you do what you can to make it. Now, and I've thought about, what if I don't make it?
You've got 4 years eligibility.
I can just start over. Maybe I'll just
Change
keep
your major.
I'll just keep non-matriculating. That's all. I'll just keep non-matriculating.
You get
So
tops?
anyway, yeah, I don't have tops. I don't have tops. The good thing is over 65. If you're over 65 and you go to LSU, from what I understand, and I've talked
You're
to
the only one that has to understand
office,
this.
the university will waive your tuition.
Oh.
For over 65 people. So that's another reason for people over 65 to go back to school at LSU. Now, you have to pay the fees, and the fees are like 30% of the tuition, because, they just keep adding fee after fee after fee after fee.
Yes.
I think there's like 30 or 40 different fees that LSU tax onto it.
Yeah.
And they're not going to waive that. But regardless about that, it's something that I want to do. And I've always kind of taken the road less traveled. Over my career, I've taken the road less traveled. I've been to places a lot of people haven't been to. We've done things that people haven't done. And this is just the way that...
You're awesome.
This is just the way that we do things. This is the way that I do things. I run every day, the physical activity. I'm doing...
You start running the lakes.
Maybe I will between classes. So, but anyway, it's all been great. It's all been great so far. The family, the friends, and they're extremely, extremely supportive. They can't wait for it to happen.
Yeah.
They can't wait for it to happen, and I hope it can. I hope I can.
Yeah. No.
It's just have to have realistic expectations.
Yeah.
Right.
Of course.
Because they're not going to hand it to you just because
No,
it's a good
no,
story.
absolutely not, and I don't expect them to.
No.
They need to treat me like everybody else.
Right.
I am no different than anybody else, and that's the way that I see it in my mind. That's the way they should see it in their mind.
Any handouts?
None.
No.
Zero. Absolutely not.
Because you're putting in the work to earn this.
To earn that,
spot.
exactly, and that's just the way that's the way that I was brought up. That's the way that I think. And I think that hopefully it'll turn out good.
I mean, people are loving that story, and this is, I think, a great testament. Talk about dedication and love for LSU, and everybody wants to see you succeed. You're the inspiration for everyone, and now the Dim Tigers. These are the fans that make a night in Tiger Stadium or a Friday night in the box at 117 so special. That's what I think too. There's such a passion for the university and for the school and being a part of the athletic contributions or whatever, however you can do it, because the fans care so much. Then to take that next step of I'm going to re-enroll in school,
right?
Train to be in the band and apply, and the ultimate goal of being getting on the field and doing all of that and enjoying the experience is so cool to me.
It is, and Lloyd, I think that back in 1972, the things that I remember way back then in 1972, one of my biggest memories in Tiger Stadium that I've ever had. I was at the LSU Ole Miss game when LSU had 2 plays in 4 seconds and they beat them 17-16. Right? I was in the stadium. We were in the south end zone with season tickets, and I remember that, and I remember that my entire life, and you don't forget that. You don't forget that experience. You don't forget the experience of everybody else as crazy as you are in the stadium. Everybody's just as crazy as you are, right? And the story is, I'm jumping up and down when they score. Now this is what they scored, and they tied the game. It was 16-16. They still had to kick the extra point. I'm jumping up and down. My brother pushes me forward, and I go over like 3 rows of people, and I knock down like 3 rows of people. But they didn't care. They just picked me up. they just picked me up, and they just everybody's going crazy, right? Everybody's going crazy. But that's the memory.
Yeah.
Right. That's the memory that's one of the big memories that's stuck in my head, right? And you have that, and it lives with you forever. When it comes to LSU, it's just like it's part of your culture. It's part of your DNA. It just is. I don't know how else to explain it. Maybe national championships, maybe the 8 national championships for baseball, maybe the 4 for football, all the track, all of the national championships. Just the dedication that these kids are. And I will tell you this: these kids that I've encountered at LSU are these young adults that I've encountered at all of my orientations and the 3 things that I've been to. They're exceptional. These young kids and young adults are exceptional at what they do. They're excited about what they do. You can tell they love being there, and they're excited to be there at LSU. They just are. Yeah. And it permeates through everything. Definitely. So
that's why I'm so glad you're not going online. You get to, like the campus is going to be such a cool aspect of it, to be able to walk around, go see Mike the Tiger, go.
Yeah.
Stately Oaks and Broad Magnolias.
Well, first of all, I'm going to have to find out where my classes are. I don't know where any of the buildings are. I'm going to have to find out. I'm going to get that interactive Mac set up so I can figure out where my classes are. But anyway, it's been a long road. It's been a lot of work, a lot more work to come up. And I'm just happy I made it physically and mentally able to do this.
No, we're excited for you. That everyone watching is behind you and supporting you, and we're all excited to kind of see this through and continue this journey. This is as good of a story as there is.
I appreciate that.
It's awesome, and we're excited. And you are, like, to me, kind of how you were talking about LSU, like, we talk about LSU in a way that people call us homers because we talk about how different the culture and the love for LSU and LSU sports are. On social media, other schools think we're just talking it up because we love it. But, like, you are such a good representation of what makes LSU different. Like, just what makes the fans different, the school, the sports. Like, the way you were talking about falling over the rows and then picking you up and continue celebrating like that. That's LSU.
It is.
Like, that's what makes it different.
That's what makes it different. That is what makes it different. And it wouldn't be LSU without that.
Right.
It wouldn't be LSU without the people. It's the people that the people that make it up.
Yeah.
It's the fans that make it up. It's the history.
This wouldn't happen at any other school.
No.
TigerTubaKent. Like, God, I hope you make it. It's going to be so funny. But it's going to be so
Let's
cool.
Let's hope.
If you don't, you have been invited to join an intramural soccer team. All right.
I'm sure there's a lot of intramural sports that I could hopefully be invited to. I just need to be careful. I just need to be careful. That's all. So I appreciate that.
Russian fraternity.
My wife wanted me to pledge. I said, "Well, when am I going to find time to do that? How am I going to find time? How am I going to find time to do that? Come on."
I can't wait for the first conversation. Like, sorry, honey, I have a test tonight. Like, when you have to schedule in the testing center. It's like, last time they had was 6 o'clock.
Right. Well, I could imagine telling my wife. I said, if she wants to go to a movie or she want to go out for dinner. I said, I'm going to tell her, I can't. I got to study.
It's school night.
I got to school night.
I got to keep up the C average.
I got to keep up the C average.
That is awesome.
Oh, that's awesome. So anyway, that'll be interesting.
Yeah.
After 45 years of not studying, I don't know how I'm going to handle it. You have any suggestions?
No, trust me, I wasn't the biggest.
How about you, Lloyd? Do you have any suggestions?
No, yeah, find a
tutor.
Yeah. When you get invited to a test bank, accept it.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
That's probably the best part about you going to in-person classes.
Yeah.
Is meeting your classmates. And
let's get together.
Yeah.
Let's get together.
Because you're probably gonna like take notes and like these kids are gonna be hungover, not really want to go to class. We're like, dude,
they're gonna look. No, I don't want them looking to me. I want to look to them.
Yeah, right. You gotta play it right.
Yeah. Come on, you guys need to help me. You guys need to help me.
TigerTubaKent and the Google Docs.
But give a little more of your story, like your career. Obviously, you were accountant, CPA. What did you do up until this point?
Thanks for that. So my career kind of wound a little bit, but the vast majority of it, I stayed in one place. I was a CPA, and I worked for a at the time one of the big 8 accounting firms. Now they're down to 4.
Okay.
Now they call the Big 4. Then I went to work for a small oil and gas company as a partnership accountant. And then out of the blue, I got a call from the parish president in St. John Parish. So St. John Parish is the parish where Laplace is located. Laplace is the major city in St. John, and I was the chief financial officer for St. John Parish for 4 years. And lo and behold, we lose the election. And I didn't think we were going to lose the election, so I'm out of it. Everybody wanted me to stay, but I didn't want to stay because working in politics and working in an administrative area or finances for somebody who you were trying to beat their brains in,
right,
politically,
politically,
it just didn't appeal to me.
Yeah.
So then during that time, I actually was looking for a job, and I ended up through a headhunter. I got a job with Sazerac Company. Sazerac Company is a New Orleans-based company, been around for almost 80 years now, since 1940. It was since 1949. And what most people don't realize, Sazerac is really known for all of its bourbons that it produces. Mm-hmm. And its flagship is the Buffalo Trace Distillery in Frankfurt. Buffalo Trace bourbon, Eagle Rare bourbon, Ancient Age, those kind of bourbons. I started out there as office manager, then controller, vice president of finance, and then ended up as secretary and treasurer for like the last 15 years. My concentration was really mergers and acquisitions, global insurance, and corporate secretary. So I wore a lot of hats.
Right.
I loved Sazerac. Was amazing. Sazerac was absolutely an amazing company to work for. When I started, we had 100 people. We had 100 people that worked for Sazerac. I think it's several thousand.
Yeah.
It's actually several thousand now. It's a tremendous company, very, very well respected. It builds brands globally. It has a lot of brands that people don't even realize. Fireball is one of his brands, and Buzzballs is one of his brands.
Well, hell yeah!
And
you'll be seeing some of those.
Yeah, I know. You'll be seeing a lot of that, and it's just it is an awesome company. I thoroughly enjoyed the work. I thoroughly enjoyed the people, and I will say this: one of the crowning achievements for the things that I did toward the end of my career, we wanted what you call a home place. Sazerac needed a home place. Every company likes a home place where people can go to learn about the company. Right. We started searching in New Orleans, and we found a spot at the corner of Magazine and Canal Street. It was an old warehouse that's actually connected to the Sheraton right there on Canal Street. And we put an offer in. We got the offer. We basically saved the building. Sazerac saved the building because the building was imploding back in the early '80s when the Sheraton bought it. Their plan was to put another tower. They have one big tower there on Canal, and the second tower they were going to put where that warehouse was, but they decided not to do it. So they just kind of neglected it, and so we bought it. We totally renovated it. It's now called the Sazerac House. And if you Google the Sazerac House, you see what it's about. It's about learning about the history of alcohol and the history of alcohol in the state of Louisiana, the history of alcohol when it comes to the Sazerac Company, and it's a museum. It's a museum experience, and it's extremely well run. You can go online. You can set up your time for your appointments. The first 3 floors were museum. 4th floor was event space, and the 5th floor was where we stayed.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for me, we got it done. There you go. That's it. That's the Sazerac House, and we ended up with that's our bottle wall. I'll tell you about the bottle wall. We ended up starting in September of 2019. COVID hit.
Wow.
March of 2020, right? And so everybody then goes home, and I started working from home and worked from home for the rest of my career, as opposed to going back and forth to Sazerac House. But it's a great facility, great company, and it's not one you hear a lot about. It's still kind of like under the radar, and that's just the way that they are. That's the way that the leadership team was. That's the way that I was. So it fit. Yeah. It was a good fit. We didn't stand up and say, "Hey, look at us," and we just don't. That's just not the way that we did things. That's not the way that I did things or do things. So if you ever get a chance to go visit.
Yes,
it's a great tour. And then once you finish that, you can go into the French Quarter.
Yeah.
And so I love doing that. That was about almost a 4-year project.
Yeah.
Doing that, and so I really love doing that, and I really love working for them for all those years.
And how did your time there, your career, how did that kind of shape you and prepare you for a journey like this? Like, obviously physically probably didn't get you in shape for doing this, but mentally and kind of how did your career get you ready for this?
I think it's about several things. One, about making sure that you have goals.
Yeah.
You've got to set your goals. You've got to set long-term goals when you're in the work environment. And I think secondly, discipline. It's about making sure that you do the right things for the right reasons at the right time. And working for companies that are built that way, you start to think that way.
Yeah.
And you get it, and it's ingrained in you. And you guys would know, it's hard sometimes to separate your work life from your personal life.
Yeah.
And they just intertwine. And that's how you start to think everywhere. And during that time, I got to start to think like that. I got to start to think like, this is how we do. Yeah, some people may call me a little OCD, and that's fine. That's fine. I don't think I'm OCD. I think I'm meticulous. I'm more like an engineer type because I was an accountant.
Right.
I was an accountant, and I think that kind of gets you to a point of being able to tackle things that challenge you.
Yeah.
Right. Because every day is a challenge. You sit here, you don't know what somebody's going to say,
right.
And you guys have to deal with it. Work is the same way. Doing this with LSU with the band is a challenge.
Yeah.
Musically, physically, it gets you ready. It just gets you ready, and being able to accept it, understand it, and to plot the course, and make your objectives, make your goals, and figure out the plan to get from the point of the beginning to the point of the end.
Yeah.
And that's what it got me to be able to do. And it served me well, actually.
Yeah.
Working there has really served me well to be able to do this.
Definitely.
Right. It just has. And hopefully everybody can do that. And I will say this, I'm thinking that, with me doing this and being able to just try this.
Yeah.
Hopefully other people, as I said, my age, see that retiring is not the end. It is not the end. It can be just the beginning.
Yeah.
It opens up a whole new realm of possibilities of what you can do, and when things you can say, places you can go, people you can meet. It's just a whole different way of looking at things.
Yeah.
It's just a different environment. And I will say, for us, since we retired, I've been retired for like 18 months. I've had like 5 days that I haven't had anything to do.
Yeah.
Busy all the time. busy all the time, and that's important. That's important, and you stay focused, you stay active, and that keeps you moving toward goals like this.
Right. Yeah. No, I mean that's beautiful, because I think a lot of times retirement can be viewed as just kind of the end. Like you're just a grandparent at that point or whatever. You finding.
Or people say they're going to do something when I retire, when I I finally have time.
Say your whole life.
No.
You actually are following through on that.
Following through is one of the things that we've planned it, and we're actually doing it because one of the things we talked about is we want to travel. Right. We want to travel. I did some traveling with work to some places. We're traveling now, and
I might be going to SEC away game.
She's all into that. She's all into that. She's already looking. We just got back from Croatia. Croatia is absolutely stunning.
Yeah.
And we're going to Japan in like 10 days.
Awesome.
So we're not sitting still. Again, just kind of like goes toward the whole way that me and my wife think it's just don't sit home. Just don't sit home and just get sedentary.
Right.
Because that's the last thing we want to be. That's the last thing we want to do.
Yeah.
That's the last thing we want to do.
No,
because I know when I retire, whatever age it's going to be, Noah's seen this firsthand. I will not move. We took a day off when we were in Omaha, and I didn't get out the bed one time.
No. Well.
But there's two different ways to do things. I wish I did. I just didn't.
Well, I mean, you guys were in Omaha. Is there a lot to do in Omaha?
Not outside of baseball. The zoo is a hit.
It's pretty nice.
Yeah,
Best kept secret.
We did not go, but it was a hit.
And y'all were there. And you guys were there for how long?
About 2 weeks.
Yeah. Oh, y'all spent the whole time.
Yeah, we
how many games did y'all see?
So we went to every game.
Every game?
Every LSU.
Every LSU.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't like baseball that much.
I went to Coastal and Oregon State.
Okay.
And here and there, but yeah, we went up. We was just supposed to be a weekend, so we were supposed to go Thursday to Tuesday and watch the first weekend of LSU baseball in an RV. We stayed in the RV. Then when we were there on Monday, I kind of looked at Lloyd and I was like, we're already here. Like, we might as well
stay. Yeah, why not?
So we ended up just staying for the next week.
Were you broadcasting from Omaha as well?
Yes.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah, that was awesome.
That's perfect.
Yeah, we went.
I mean that's an awesome trip. Is it the first time you guys had done it?
Yes.
See, I've never been to Omaha. I would love to. I would love to be able to go to Omaha to see that, especially when the Tigers win.
Of course,
yes,
especially when the Tigers win.
Well, the good thing is with Jay Johnson, there'll probably be more trips in the near future.
Well, let's hope
to make it happen. Of course.
Let's hope. Let me ask you a question about Omaha. How do the stadiums? I mean, obviously, the stadium is much bigger than Alec Box. How do the two stadiums compare?
Yeah, I would say Alec Box, just from the baseball perspective, is very similar. Dimensions wise,
okay.
It plays a lot like Alec Box. There's not a bad seat in Charles Schwab, just like Alec Box.
There is not a bad seat.
There's not a bad seat in the place. Standing room only, you can see.
I agree.
They have the new the little grandstands, the 300 level. They just have two spots on the baselines.
Yeah.
Which are usually the cheapest seats, and they're a great spot to sit and watch the game.
Nice.
But yeah, I mean, the only thing is, it's kind of built backwards.
Yeah.
And so it's facing the sun. So when the sun is setting, the outfielders are beaming.
The outfielders are having a problem. The outfielders were having a problem.
Yeah, some shadows.
With trying to find the ball off the bat.
Yeah, and the sun's right in your eyes. The way that they constructed it was literally supposed to be flipped the other way.
You really think they thought about that?
Yes, some marketing person that works with, I guess, Charles Schwab or whoever built the stadium or the state of Omaha, the city of Omaha. They wanted you to be able to see like the
skyline,
and all of that, and so that's why the wind's blowing the wrong way.
The wind's blowing the wrong way. The sun is
in your eyes.
When it's setting, it's beaming on the outfield and the seats.
Well, you know what? At the end of the day, if that's the worst thing about the stadium, it can't be all that bad. Then.
No, it's
how was the food? How was the food in the stadium?
It was great. I had every time I go to a game, I get a hot dog. You got to test the stadium's hot dog.
You got to have a hot dog.
It was a great hot dog.
Got to have a hot dog at a baseball stadium.
It was a great hot dog. It was, but they were not. It was great. Like the food was nice. It really wasn't too overly expensive. Like it's not cheap. No stadium food is cheap now. But it wasn't too over the top.
Great.
I would say. But it was great. Omaha's great.
I would love to be able to get there one time.
Yeah,
hopefully
of
when
course.
the Tigers
make it maybe like a month, like a year from now.
Make it for number 9.
Yes.
Make it for number 9.
Yes,
Wouldn't that be good? Wouldn't that be great?
You could probably find like you'll be in the know. There'll be students that are going.
Yeah, well,
Hey,
maybe I can stay in an RV.
Yeah, you can stay with us.
Maybe I can stay in an RV.
Put Kit in the hotel.
Because I know finding hotel rooms is very difficult.
Yes.
There, right? So
that's the toughest part about Omaha. Like going as a fan is making everything line up once you find out. Because when you find out your team is going, it's a weekend before it starts.
It's got to be rush.
Right. You got
there's all kind of plans that have to come together quick.
A lot of people, like I saw some Tennessee fans there, Georgia fans there, like people that like bet on their team to make it and bought tickets early.
Yeah.
And then their team didn't make it and they still went because they had already bet on them,
So you guys were there and obviously, I was watching it. And what was you guys' take on the head coach and the first base coach getting kicked out in the first inning in that second game? Did it make a difference? Did it make a difference in how Coastal played?
I don't think it made a difference how they played. I think it got the LSU fan base into it.
Oh, it definitely did.
On the drop of a dime.
It turned quick.
Yeah, the second I was sitting in the press box at that point, and those were the loudest LSU chants I heard the entire time we were there. Where when those
turned into a football game.
Literally, like Schnall gets thrown out and it's LSU, just like
awesome.
Echoing through the stadium. So
that's awesome.
It definitely, the atmosphere was on full tilt LSU at that point. I don't think it made that big of a difference on how Coastal played because I think they still played a heck of a baseball game.
They did.
I just think LSU was the better team and the fan base was rocking.
Without it, and let me ask this question. Whose fan base was there more than LSU? Was there anybody? Arkansas had a lot of folks there?
Game 1, LSU Arkansas, that Saturday night.
It's probably 70-30.
It was probably 70-30 Arkansas. Like
really?
Yeah, we were surprised too.
Wow.
It was packed. Arkansas traveled.
I wouldn't have expected that.
It was crazy.
Well, good for them.
Yeah. It sucked that they had to go lose to LSU twice.
Somebody had to go.
Good for them. I mean, you know what?
They traveled well, yeah.
Because they want so badly to win one. Like
yes.
They've been to Omaha multiple times. Dave Van Horn has been a ton.
9 times.
9 times. Or 8 or 9 times he's been there?
And they were one pitch away. They were one foul ball away, essentially, from winning a national championship. He still hasn't won one, so it feels like that when they get there, they want to see it so badly for the first time.
It's a consistent program.
Yeah, it is.
Give him credit. They're consistent.
Yes, every year.
Give
One
them
of the best.
Give them, and I will give Coastal. Personally, I would say Coastal's pitching was amazing.
Yes,
they had
they're a heck of a program.
They are great, and I think Coastal's going to take their revenue share money. And Coastal's, they said they're putting it all against the baseball team.
Of course,
because they don't have any. I don't think they have a football team.
Else. They have a football team, but it's not.
They have a football team.
It's not. It's not what their baseball program is.
And then the whole revenue sharing thing is going to help. It's going to help them, and I think LSU has another $20.5 million they're going to spend. $20.5 million they're going to spend on revenue sharing, with 75% going to the football team, plus the NIL.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Right. So what does that put them at? What, 40 million?
It's so the way the NIL is going to work different. Like so now, like this year, they already front loaded I think about 10 million on the roster.
Okay.
And so then now they're getting the 13.5.
13.5
football. So it's going to be about $24 million.
24 just for football.
Just for football.
Wow. Well,
and you see it with the roster.
Yeah, and the roster. This is the most talented roster they've had since Kelly's been here. So
where do you think that puts him this year?
On the hot seat.
The hot seat. Must win. Like have to
win. What do you think must win is? What do you think?
National championship.
Got a national championship or bust. That's it.
You have to make the playoff.
Got to make the playoff at least, right?
Because it's 10 wins and you're in the playoff. And so this
you would think in the SEC, right?
Yes, this team, this schedule. If you don't get 10 wins, it's something went wrong.
Yeah,
so
because they got some studs.
They do.
They got some studs this year.
And as much as people would say it doesn't matter, there is a little bit more pressure added after Jay Johnson national championship wins 2 in 4 years.
Right.
And they look at that.
Absolutely.
Right. They look at each other. They look at each other.
No, I mean women's basketball. Like Kim Mulkey made the tournament every year. She's won, made the Elite Eight back-to-back year. Like.
I think the pressure.
I
think he has a little bit of pressure on him.
It's high,
and I know he knows that.
Yes,
he's definitely going
and definitely going into game 1. I mean, you haven't won a season opener since you've been here, and now you're going.
And he's all in. I just hope he doesn't. I hope the team doesn't react and end up with a season like Ole Miss did last year.
Right.
When they were all in, right? They were all in last year.
Yeah, put all their money into the portal.
They put all their money in the portal.
Well, yeah, because you have to have some sense of, if it doesn't work, I don't know if LSU fans would belly up back to the table and
the boosters. I mean, the big money guys. Yeah, it's that would be a little hard to stomach.
Right. They want to see a return on their investment.
They want to see a return. They want to see a return.
Definitely.
So anyway, I'm looking forward to it. And I'm looking forward to hopefully being in the band.
Yeah, we're hoping to see.
I'm hoping to be able to be in the band for the next time the LSU wins a national championship.
There you go.
How about that?
Kent, whatever you do make the team, you're just going to come on every Monday.
Yeah.
We're just going to have, we need live field reports. We need all, what was your experience? I'm boots on the ground.
You know, that would be interesting.
Yes.
That would be interesting. Yeah, but we can probably do that. We should be able to do that. I would look forward to doing that.
Awesome. We appreciate you coming in, making the time.
I appreciate you guys having me. It's been a blast.
Yes.
And
we've enjoyed this as probably more than you have. So
it's awesome.
We're excited for you. We're excited to see kind of the next step in your journey.
We were rooting for you.
Yeah,
Everyone's
rooting for you.
There's a former band member, Kimberly, who said, you can do this. Like, don't think that you can't because of your mentality, and the hardest part is the mental part.
Yeah.
And so
you've got that.
telling you that you've got fans over here.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I appreciate that.
We appreciate you, and we'll make sure to stay updated, keep everybody, all of you guys updated on TigerTubaKent's journey. And we'll talk again soon.
Great. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Great to be here.
We'll see everybody again tomorrow morning from 7 to 9.